awesome. What a crowd we have tonight. And honestly, this time, I'm not kidding. We have a full house here for the guy that we have in. Welcome to Penguin Live. Thank you so much for supporting Live Magic. I'm Dan Harlan, your host here, and I got to tell you, who we have with us, you already know he's a creative genius, but I've got to tell you that he's one of the nicest guys in all of magic, and you're going to find that out as you get to meet him a little bit more here. Now, the other thing that you know is that if you do any stage magic whatsoever, or you've seen anybody perform anything on stage, I'll bet that you've seen something that this guy has created, because he has created masterpieces that pretty much every stage magician on the entire planet is using the stuff that he comes up with. Now, the other thing is, tonight, you are going to see such a mixture of things. You're going to see close-up. You're going to see stage magic. He'll also teach you some illusions, grand illusions, really big things that are great, and some impromptu magic, just so many things that you can use. So, if you're as excited as I am, let's get to it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a man whose magic is a surreal mix. Just like Salvador Dali mixed together with little P.T. Barnum. It's Kevin James.
Wow. Thank you very much, folks. I'm Kevin, and I'm not really a professional lecturer, but I appreciate the guys at Penguin inviting me here anyway. So
you fooled them all already, haven't you?
This is just a bunch of stuff that I've come up with over the years. Some of it made it into some competition acts. Some of it was when I didn't even have a stage act, when I made my living in restaurants. And some of it are ideas that never really have been performed before, but I thought you might find a seed of inspiration and maybe find some kind of a cool little presentation and run with it. So it's just a bunch of stuff, and we're absolutely open to any questions. Stop me anytime. I'm happy to answer anything and also talk about lots of stuff. You know, I'm touring with this little magic show called The Illusionist, and it's
one of the biggest touring companies in magic ever, just in case you don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's a fun project, and I've learned a lot, and I'm happy to share any of that stuff that I've learned working with those guys. But you know what? Let's start with something that I created in one of my first stage acts, and let's see. I felt at that time that I've gone through a lot of phases. For instance, at this time I thought everything had to be really dangerous and dynamic, so I used like daggers and fire and stuff like that. So this trick uses a big knife, and it's not really. Well, you'll see. So hit the music, please. It's super easy. Oh, thanks. I'm a big tinkerer. I love to work in the workshop and just try new things. This black tube was from a an old vacuum cleaner I had. And I took a piece of aluminum and cut out the shape of the knife. I sanded it all down really well so I couldn't hurt myself because I knew I would. It's hot glued inside, so I just glued the blade. I cut the tube in half. And this is a little badge reel, that for 3 of them for $1 at the Staples or wherever. And a little sticky bagged Velcro right there. And you stick the reel right there, and you pull out the rope or pull out the string just a hair, and then close this up. I didn't even make good hinges or latches. This is all gaff tape, and it's coming up because it's pretty old. So there you go. I would make a nice one if you want to try this in your act. Now this is a rope snap gimmick. It has a little sewing snap right there. And the way to make this is you bend the rope in the shape that you think it should be, paint it with white Elmer's glue and let it dry. And then you're going to trim it off and cut it in the middle and then actually sew the snap gimmick inside. All right? And the bottom is left a little fuzzy like that. So now this goes inside and out of the handle. Now I bring this out, and because the rope is naturally fuzzy, there's a little piece of male sticky Velcro here, and the rope just basically sticks to it because it's like the female part that's curly. So you don't even need any female Velcro. The rope actually sticks just like that. All right? So to begin with, you can show both sides of the knife. It's pretty clean. So you show the rope. You turn the handle this way to the audience, and I lay the rope on top. Show one hand empty, show the other hand empty, and then as I peel it off, I pull the thread out, and you're here. All right? Pop the snap. This is my favorite move down here, is because I'm going to grab the ropes here, and the little black thread is going to pull those ends in, so it really creates the image that you're pulling the ropes down. So look at that one last time. So you're here, and you just pull the ropes down, and the ends go in. So now you're going to use the knife as kind of a magic wand. You just pass it in front. They go inside. Try not to stab yourself. And you're left with a clean rope that you can toss out. That's pretty fun and easy. Dynamic. Yeah. Let's see. This is a routine. This next thing is a routine that I did when I developed it when I was only working in restaurants and made my living strictly from that. And I needed the help of someone. Let's see. Would you please?
Sure.
Give her a round of encouragement. Bring her up. Okay. What's your name?
Jen.
Jen, I appreciate you helping out. Let's see. Jen, have you ever heard of the famous tissue paper trick?
No.
Yeah, well, it's not that famous. I'm going to show you why. Here we go. Watch. It's really the ow, 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 ow famous bottle trick. Here. Check it out. Look it over. Check it carefully. Check it for sliding panels or trap doors. You're going to want to check later, so do a good job now, all right? See if it has anything out of the ordinary. No? No trapdoors. Great. I'm going to trade you. This is a fairly large coin, a Kennedy half. Would you make sure it's solid? Give it a...
Yeah, it's very solid.
All right. Sounds real?
Yes.
Okay. Hold your left hand like this. Nicely done. Grip the bottle firmly. Keep it level. Don't scream when this happens. Ready? That's just a joke. Don't worry. Solid metal, solid glass. That's the spot.
What
yep.
the?
Scares me too. Scares me too. Now I put it in this way. I'm going to take it out this way. All I have to do is invert the bottle and give it a shake. Comes right out. Now went in here, came out here. This time visibly right through the side. Now you're going to want to zoom in close for this. Can you see it through the glass there, Jen?
Yes.
That's the spot. Don't blink when this happens. Ready? That's the spot. I know. Now you can hear it, right? You can hear it. stand a little closer. You can hear it, right?
Yes.
That means it's not a hologram. Stuck. Tell you what, just smack it on the bottom there. Just give it a nicely done. Now,
That's impossible.
well, you know, if you can't find the trapdoor, I'll show you where it is. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
You were holding really tight like this. You were putting pressure right where I needed it. You didn't know that, but if you push here, the bottom will actually open the bottom. You have to hold it as tight as you did the first time. Yeah. Push simultaneously and at the same time right there.
No.
You can see where the trap is, can't you? Do you see that circle right there?
I do see the circle.
You know, I was just joking. I bent my finger. This is the real secret. Now it's in slow motion, normal speed. You can't see me twist that off because I'm really fast. I was kidding again. I don't know how it works, but I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to give it to you as a souvenir, if that's okay.
Okay.
I've got a napkin in here somewhere. Yeah, underneath the microphone. Okay, trade sides with me, would you? And would you autograph the coin so you can be sure it's the same coin once it's inside?
Okay.
Nicely done. Watch this.
What the?
I'll tell you what, try to put the coin in the bottle, keeping in mind that it is glass. Try the top, try the bottom, try the side.
I'll try the button.
Try the button, yeah. No way, huh? Okay.
No.
Hold the coin in your right hand like this and kind of tip it so the camera can see. Good. When I lift it up, you're going to feel it leap out of your hand. It'll be inside. You won't be able to take it out because it's too big, but you're going to feel it jump when it happens. So
Okay.
prepare yourself.
Okay.
All right.
Let me make sure.
Little lower like this.
Okay.
Can you? Okay. Is it in there now?
No.
Now.
No. Nothing.
Look, you got to really think positive.
I am.
Flip it so the writing is down. Just
Okay.
turn it over. And it won't work if there's humidity in here. Sometimes the condensation builds up and it's a little damp. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm sure that was the problem. Here goes. Yep, I don't know how to do this anyway. Souvenir. Thanks.
That was amazing.
Thanks for your help. Oh, you know what? Could you stay here? So this is kind of a multi-phase coin and bottle routine that's... The best part about this is you can pretty much stop at any moment, and if you get interrupted by the waitress or any other thing. And let's see here. What am I going to... I'm going to need a napkin. And a little flash paper. Okay. So I use in a bright TV studio, I use a half a sheet of flash paper. It works good. In a really dark restaurant, you can get away with much less. And I'll tell you this, when you first approach the table, the retinal burn you get from this flash production of the bottle really, it looks really magical in a nice dim restaurant. And also there's a big flash, so people at all the other tables are like, oh, what's happening over there? And then they start having fun. So it's much easier to make the connection and go to the other table. So, Norm Nielsen makes these little bottle tops. They're for the John Thompson bottle through table. And they come in a pack of 3, I think an amber, a clear, and a green. I just use the green. Okay, so the preset is this. Just a little tiny bit of water in that. That lives under my belt right here. Now, when I was strolling a lot, I had a bottle like this where I could just go pop and refill it, close it up, goes in the back pocket, and do it on my way to the next table, really. So that's a good tip for that. Okay, so you have your regular coin, your folding coin, and your lighter and your flash paper all in your left pocket. Cocktail napkin. Now, normally, when I'm working in restaurants, I have a normal pair of pants on, but here, I've got to tell you that I have an extra long pocket in this pair of pants for the floating rose. So I can't actually do what I'm going to tell you. But if you keep this in your front pocket, you can just, when I approach the table, I can talk to somebody here, I can talk to somebody here, and when I'm talking to this person, my upstage hand is just going to go in and push into my pocket in the neck, and then at some moment I can just lift my hand up and it can go behind the jacket, and I've loaded right in front of them at the table. All right? Very easy. So now you're not going to do any funny, crazy flip stick move. This is just straightening your finger with the bottle on it. So this is here. And I say, have you heard of the famous tissue trick? No? Okay. It's not that famous. Watch close. So I let it burn, I let it burn, I let it burn. And when it gets about to here, it starts to flare up. And all I'm going to do is that. And move as far away from my body as possible. So produce it and out here. So then you turn it like this, and it's really, in their eyes, because their retina's going crazy, it appeared out here at your fingertips. All right, so in real time, have you ever heard of the famous tissue trick? No? Well, it's not that famous. Watch close. It's really, ow, 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 ow. Okay? And for lay people, it gets a real big reaction. So now she's examining that, and I'm getting the 2 coins in my hand. Yeah, go ahead. So while she's checking for trap doors, hidden reptiles, any of that James Bond kind of stuff, I'm just very secretly and quietly folding the folder here. This is third finger. This is like a classic from the standard coin and bottle routine. Now she examines the coin. I take the bottle back. While she's checking that out, I'm very quietly loading it into the neck, halfway, like that. All right, good. Sounds real. Hold your left hand like this. Now, I put the label, make sure I put the label up. Squeeze tight, grip the bottle firmly, keep it level. Don't scream when this happens. That gets a big reaction from lay people. So now it's just a classic pass. Bank. Coin dislodges, it goes inside. Now, this is really, really strong for lay people, I have to tell you. So I say, I put it in here, I'm going to take it out here. Just give it a shake. Again, straight out of the normal instructions. Went in here, came out here. This time, visibly right through the side. Now, I really love this routine, or this particular move, because it has, okay. The reason I chose a Perrier is because it's a very small bottle, and the 50-cent piece is a very large coin, so I like that contrast. This bottle also, this is the 6.5 ounce, it's not the 11 ounce. Has a perfect label that's big enough to hide a 50-cent piece. So, now, it's not as easy to see on camera, but if you're sitting around here at a table, everybody can really get a good view down through the bottle, and you say, okay, can you see the coin through the glass? Keep your eye on it, that's the spot. Now my third finger is about ready to push that folder in. And it has the same feel as the Williamson strike vanish, you know, when he poop and the coin appears inside the pen. Well, you can't mess this up. I've dropped the Williamson strike vanish before. I've missed it. And you have to be a really good magician to do that. So all you're going to do here is you're going to give the audio, say that's the spot. Now don't blink. And then you're just going to cover up the coin with the label and let the other one drop in. All right? So it looks like a very beautiful, clean penetration right there. Your hands look clean. And they react very well to that. So now, I dump the coin to the right hand. I shake it all the way out. into the left hand. Now I'm rattling it on the outside of the bottle here. I've got the folder here. So now I'll normally turn to somebody on this side and go, it's stuck in the neck. Would you hit it on the bottom? So at that moment, I'm ditching the folder here. So go ahead and hit it. Drops out. Give them the bottle. You're clean. They can grab either thing, and they do quite often. So they spend 5 minutes trying to find the secret to that. So now I say, I'll tell you the secret. It's not a problem with me. So you were holding really tight here. You were putting pressure there, and you didn't know you were doing that. So this is the real secret. You were putting pressure there, and the bottom will actually open if you put pressure there. So now the way to make this gag look good is to keep these 3 fingers extended. So this does not look nearly as good as that. Okay? So it gives them something to compare to it, because they never really see your finger in the bottle. They just have to, All right, so you give it to them. You don't give them a chance to mess around, and they say, okay, and they're going to absolutely try to squeeze it and push it in. And everybody's attention is there, and you can really spend 5 minutes there just watching them do that. When that happens, I'm reaching back and grabbing a second bottle bottom that's on a piece of elastic. Okay? It's hanging right over my back pocket. So, but all the focus is there. Everybody's watching her try to open the bottle, and it doesn't happen, so I take it back and I go, I was just joking. I bent my finger. That was a joke. And I keep these fingers curled now because first I'm palming the bottle bottom, but also I don't want it to look that good. And so they're like, well, I can't believe I fell for that. So yeah, I just bent my finger. It was a joke. So I say, this is the real secret. Now you get the sound, the audio illusion of the glass grinding. And now all I'm going to do is obscure the bottom in my palm and push this out. I never really showed that the bottom's not there. Okay, I let their mind do it all for me. All right? And then you just swing this back and let go. And
Kevin, before you continue a little bit further, how is that elastic attached to the other bottom? Is it drilled through, or is it epoxied?
Yeah.
It's drilled through, right?
When you make this thing, you just have to go to a glass shop, have them cut the bottom off, and have them sand it so you don't cut yourself. Then they're going to have to drill a little hole so that you can tie the elastic. I don't know, maybe we can see it here. There we go. Mm-hmm. So it's drilled, and then the elastic is just threaded through and tied. And it just kind of hangs over. So it's pinned just under my armpit, and it hangs down near the back pocket. So with a very simple turn, right where it is, you bring it out, and it's palmed here, here, and then they're going to spend. If they spend 5 minutes on the first one, they'll spend 10 minutes on that one. So now I turn to the person on this side. You know what? I'd like to give it to you as a souvenir. So that always gets their attention. So go ahead and stand on this side. You'll play that person. So I reach back, and above my back pocket as well is my strolling magician's best thing to ever have, is a Sharpie on a piece of elastic. Okay? The conical shape of the Sharpie is really a great pull. I'm having stuff signed all the time, cards, coins, whatever. So she's signing that, she signs it. And there are so many things. If the napkin's sitting out here, you can just go, or I kind of like this, the casket vanish where you have the glass tube, you put the silks in. This is kind of like that, where you just put it in and it's kind of a visible vanish. And if you're ever in a restaurant and maybe people are leaving and they say, oh, do one last thing for us, so you can just reach in your back pocket and go, it's gone. Oh, no, wait, it's up here. So it's just a perfect thing that it's always ready all the time. So the thing vanishes. Now she's going to try to put it inside, so I ask her to try the top, I try the bottom, try the side, and it's not going to happen, but basically she's getting everyone's attention while I open up this cocktail napkin. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to hold the napkin right in front of the gimmick that's in my waistband. So without the napkin there, just imagine the napkin's here. What I'm going to do is reach down and put my thumb in there and get the Nielsen gimmick on my thumb, like that. All right, so now I'm holding the napkin. But I've got plenty of time because everyone's watching her. All right, so now I take the bottle, say hold the coin in your hand really flat, keep it right there. You're going to feel it when I lift the bottle up, so prepare yourself. That gets them a little nervous. I nest the two here, cover it up, poke it through the top so they can keep their eye on the bottle, flash the bottom. Is it in there now?
No.
No, okay, how about no? Now? No? Okay. You got to think positive. Now I'm going to rest in this body position here. All right? So let's rotate. So I go, okay, you got to think positive. Nope, okay, think positive. Flip it so the writing is down. And all I'm going to do is this. Okay? All right? So, Okay, look, I flash it, flip it so the writing is up. Very important. Concentrate, all right? Now, it won't work if there's humidity in the air. Sometimes it'll condensate inside. Now, really do this slowly so it looks like there's a lot of water because there's really half a teaspoon in there, you know. And now that's an effect. It was a bone-dry bottle a second ago, so let that sink in, that's an effect. You just, and also in their mind, it makes them think full bottle, right? Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. You know, I don't know how to do this anyway. Now, I do that way out here with my sleeves kind of hiked up like that. And don't rush to do anything. Really let that moment sink in because you've just, you know, that's kind of a miracle, you know. So now I'm going to pumpkin seed this out into my hand. I'm going to reach over here, take the coin, say, oh, I did promise you a souvenir, thanks a lot. And then go away with that. And any questions on that? Yeah?
There are two that have come in. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We've got a couple of questions that came in on the Twitter feed here. You know, you had that on the market, and I don't know if it's still available on the market. Is it?
It is.
When somebody purchases it, do they get all of the gimmicks? Do they get, you know, the bottle, the Nielsen gimmick? Do they get the pre-made bottom? All that kind of stuff. What do they get?
You get the folding coin.
Right. Okay.
You get a Nielsen gimmick. You get the cut bottom.
Right. Right.
And the elastic and the pin.
Okay.
You do not get a bottle.
You'd have to go purchase your own.
Yeah, you can go to any bar.
Yeah, sure.
Find that.
Sure.
And a DVD.
Yeah, great. Okay, and then also, let's see, are there any problems with using flash paper in a restaurant? And I know when you first came up with this, there weren't, you know, because I know way back we used flash paper, you know, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the place where I hate those rules the most is the close-up in the parlor at the Magic Castle.
Yeah, because you know, it'd be
I
so
can't do the
nice to
floating
use it.
rows in the parlor anymore.
Right.
I haven't worked a restaurant in quite a long time, so I don't know what their policies are. I would just do it till someone says don't do it.
Yeah, and you had already no, it's pretty much true. And then you had already recommended you know, use a little bit less, well, a lot less probably in a restaurant.
Yeah, in a dark restaurant.
You don't need that much. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Cool.
All right. I'm just going to put everything in here. Well, this is a fun one. I have never taught this one ever on anything. This is, in The Illusionist, they asked us to come up with something quick and flashy for the opening of the show that would really, be impactful and fast. And I had a hard time coming up with that, so I kind of dug through all my old material, and I found this in my closet. And I used to do this many years ago. It's a quick change. It's a complete costume change from one to the next. And there was not really a lot of information out there when I was trying to do this. So I kind of came up with my own system. And anyway, I think we have it on video.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Well, there are a lot of great costume inventions now, quick change inventions. You've got Sauce and Victoria putting out some information. Lee Alex has some great information. Anyway, there's a lot of resources now for quick change stuff. This, Adrian Soler, has some awesome quick change stuff. And the cool part about those other people is that they've created systems, especially Adrian, I know for sure, has created systems where you can even dance in the costume before you change. I mean, they're really locked on you well, so that you can move around and then you do your special something and then boom, you can change. My system was never intended for that. Basically, if I sneeze, my costume's going to change. So it has to be my opener, and it has to not be too long before it happens. So let's start with the curtain. This was kind of a funny thing. So basically, it's like 4 feet square, and it's just PVC pipe. I glue here and I glue here, and then I have 2 pieces that have no joints on them. Those are going to be the sides. Okay. And this thing goes on top like this. Back in the early 90s, I showed this to Rudy Kobe, and I gave it to him so he had a great idea for this. His world's most dangerous card trick, where he straps a bomb to himself, has a card selected, and then, boom, he appears in a shredded costume, which was a really just awesome idea for this. Okay, so next is the curtain. Basically, it's just a tube. I have a vinyl bottom. The reason for that is it gets pulled off stage after I change, and it has to contain everything, and I don't want the costume getting dirty. So let's just quickly throw this together. The handle is on my right. Okay, and this is the string that's tied to that corner where it gets pulled off. Okay. Actually, okay. So I was just wondering, you want me to do the whole thing here?
I think so, yeah. And if you need a hand with that, I can certainly help you out.
Yeah, come on over, Dan.
Okay.
So basically, just start
Start Velcroing
doing the
around,
Velcro around.
Yep, you bet.
That'll help.
Mm-hmm.
We have to pull the tie at the corner to release it. There's a little...
Did you ever do this at restaurants?
Did you guys hear that? In studio, we've been asked if he used to do this walk around at restaurants.
Yes.
All right.
This was in a contest act. I actually changed I changed from a very... the idea when I first designed this was I had a moving pip calendar that went from like 1889 to 1980 or 89, right?
So the date on the calendar would change, right?
Yeah, so I would come out in a classical tuxedo and it was 1889, and then the moving pip calendar would change to 1989, and then I would do this, and I looked like,
Good.
yeah. So now, kind of like a substitution trunk. Okay. So now this handle is designed so that I can hold it with my one hand while I'm changing, while I'm using my other hand to get part of the change done in advance. The reason it's so fast is that I can get half the change done just in the action of picking up the cloth. So one day, I'm presetting on stage, and I accidentally stepped on this. That that move in the beginning when it hops up to my hands was completely an accident. I was here doing something and I accidentally stepped on this and it went, and I go, shit. Right? And then I thought, well, if you turned it a quarter turn like this, then you can have this kind of cool move at the beginning. So now it's here. Now it's really important that you get all this extra fabric off to the side like this. There we go. That's preset on stage. So the move is you walk out. My costume will stay on, for like 10 steps. So I walk forward, come into the down pool of light, go, so they, see what color my costume is, and then comes up, goes a quarter turn here. Okay. Now I lift it up once, and this is when I lift it up the first time. What's actually happening is I'm grabbing the crotch of the costume and pulling it forward and ripping all the way from the waist down. So it's all hanging on me like a tube. So now, when I toss it up, all I have to do is throw it up and grab here and go forward, and I've completely changed really fast. So now the costume. Let me grab that. So it's just a whole suit with multiple layers. You got a vest, a tie, a shirt, all. So basically, you put it on, and you have a seamstress pin it all together. And you want to buy a suit that's like 2 sizes too big. So they pin it all together, and then they cut you out of it. Okay. So what you're going to do is they're going to cut from the back. Your pants are going to be from the back of your leg all the way up to the back of your crotch, and the back of this leg all the way up to the same place, and then from the bottom of the crotch up to the waistband. So she's going to cut those 3 lines, and that's for your pants. And then the sleeves from one wrist all the way across your back to the other wrist, and then from the top of your collar all the way straight down. And then you can take the whole thing off. Then she's going to sew it all together. And then you're going to cut away all the extra bits that are overlapping. So it's basically like just a jumpsuit. And then you're going to Velcro little dots everywhere to try to keep it all together. Really, if you move too much, it's going to rip. Your crotch will fall. It is really going to fall off. So, and it's super important that you have costumes that are completely contrasting. Otherwise, there's no sense in doing it. It's a lot of work for nothing. So basically, you put one little piece of strong Velcro here at the collar. Get one arm in. So you have to have somebody put you in it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. You absolutely have to have somebody else help because there's no way you can do that yourself easily. Yeah, it's one of those things where you need an assistant to help. Mm-hmm. And then that same person, though, can pull the cloth off after you're done. So in the illusions, I just appear, change the costume, walk off, and then the focus goes somewhere else, and they slowly drag it across the stage. Pretty much nobody sees it except the front row. They kind of go like that. So, any questions?
I think in the studio here we have a
Just
question.
have one. You pull the last part off when you throw the tube up in the air.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of margin for error there, is there?
Yeah, no. That's why it has to be a couple sizes too big. And, that's why it's on so lightly. It's really not, you don't use big pieces of Velcro. And that's another thing. If you, if it doesn't come off, then you can put tape over your Velcro so that you can very quickly adjust how much Velcro gets attached. And it's a trial and error thing. You gotta practice it quite a bit, but it's a great opening. I mean, it's fast and it's it's effective.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. I clear this?
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, you bet.
Let me give you this.
The pull cord.
Thanks, Dan. Okay. You know, it's really funny how when you're a kid, you see certain things at a magic convention and they stick with you forever. I can remember being a kid at Abbott's watching, I don't even know his name. He was just a manipulator. He did some cigarette stuff, and I was just learning magic for the first time, and so everything was really amazing to me. And he had a cigarette in his mouth, and he took it, and he threw it down, and he stepped on it, and then he turned around like this, and when he came back, the cigarette was back in his mouth. Now, for a kid, I'm like, what in that? You know, I had no idea what tonguing a cigarette was. No clue. But just the effect of something appearing in an impossible location when his hands were busy was just amazing to me. So this actually was connected to the dagger and the rope trick in that first act of mine. So you just show a rope and you scratch your head, and when you come around, a bunch of knots. So these are just like little rope donuts, and they have a fishing line attached to each one. And you slide them down and you hold them in your hand. So all you're doing is you're going to like let go, and they appear. Now I had worked on a way where you can do it with a rope that. This is actually sewn to the rope, but if you put a little piece of wire in the end of the rope, then you can get a metal tube that has a little thing at the end that's soldered on there, so you can actually stack the donuts on there and clip it like you would a ball or anything under your jacket. So, like if I finished with the dagger and the rope thing, I could put the dagger down, steal this gimmick, slide the little wire in this rope inside that tube. So now I can just keep hold of the tube and let the knots go. So basically I can turn an ungimmicked rope or a partially gimmicked rope into this knot trick. And the cool thing is that you can pinch the bottom knot and turn it over and they stay in the same spot. Then if you want, you can even reverse the process and they all so all you need to do is get some rope that has a foam core in it and peel out the little core. And then I take little fishing sinkers, the little round ones that you pinch on the line, and I just put them in there so they're all kind of heavy. And then hot glue, right? Hot glue the little donuts. And then you take your little fishing line and tie them to each one at the right length, and that's it. So, but anyway, the idea was that what made me come up with this is that little tonguing a cigarette thing from my childhood. I came up with a couple other things that were similar to that, like taking a rope and stretching it out like this, and then I would turn around like here and then stretch it up here, and when I come back around, there's a dagger in my teeth. And basically it's a dove bag with a dagger with a hole in each end with a little string on it going through it with two loops, so the two loops would be here. So when I would go here, I would loop the threads, come up like this, and as I'm about halfway, it's starting to peek out of my jacket, and then when I come up here, it's all the way up, and then I just reach down and bite it, and then come back around and produce this dagger in my teeth. So there's a lot of, again, that was from appearing in an impossible location thing from that cigarette trick. So it's just funny how that little thing stuck in my head all those years and came up with a couple of interesting effects. Thank you. A lot of people ask me how to come up with ideas, and for me it's just a lot of hard work, and I think just knowing that they're going to come eventually. So I come up with 100 tricks, I'm only going to show you 2 of them that I like. It's a numbers game. I come up with a lot of crappy ideas too. I just don't show them to anybody. So, I try to find inspiration in a lot of places, like hardware stores, toy stores. There's a place in Japan called Tokyo Hands that's just the most amazing kind of hobby hardware shop on the planet. 5 floors of just crazy new materials that you've never seen before. I get a lot of ideas from music and from movies and literature and life experience. Just trying to find moments in your life that felt magical to you that somehow you can illustrate on stage. So I just wake up every morning and I know that I'm going to find something interesting, and I keep my mind open, and I just try to put as much information in as possible, so that when it's like with the floating rose, I was at a point in my life where I was just doing strolling, and I knew I needed to expand to other markets. So I was getting some stage offers, but I didn't have a stage act. So I said, well, the fastest way to that point is to take something that I'm already getting a good reaction with in my close-up and somehow changing it or enlarging it to be on stage. So I was getting a lot of reaction with this floating bill. And one day, I thought, if I could just make this trick larger, and I was in a bar and I saw a bartender make a paper flower for a customer, and she loved it, and I thought it just all the dots connected at that split second, and I thought, well, I could use the cocktail napkin for the animation. I've got a lot of other animation I could do, and then twist it into a flower, and then it changes to a real flower, and then so it could have a romantic element. It could, So anyway, it just all happened like in 5 minutes after I saw that flower, and because I was asking myself the right questions, and it became a pretty neat little stage piece. And there's different kinds of creativity. There's hard creativity, like you come up with a whole new principle, or there's softer creativity where, maybe you just take an existing trick and tweak it to fit your personality. So there's some really great examples of that. Like I have this amputated arm trick that's kind of a funny thing. And I love it when people come up with great ways to use these things. Joel Hodgson is a good friend of mine. He has the amputated arm on, and there's a funnel stuck to the cut part of the arm, and a curly cable to a microphone. And he comes out and says, "This is my hand signing machine." And he starts to talk, and then it does sign language. So this amputated arm is actually doing the physical hand signing. Really amazing stuff.
And Joel, did Joel learn sign language to do that, or know it, or is he just
I have
doing
no
it as a
idea.
joke?
I have no idea.
I bet he probably learned a little bit.
Probably a little bit, yeah. Sure. So there's, I think just stay curious, stay expecting that you're going to come up with ideas. Don't quit. And I just have to tell you that any sweat and extra effort and extra money that you put into trying to be original is going to pay off. It really will. It's the whole idea for me was to try to create an act where I was the only person on the planet where they could buy it. So try to be as original as you can. Yeah. I want to show you another thing that...
Just before we get off of creativity for just a moment, do you write down pretty much everything that you think of in some way and
Absolutely.
keep a record of it, and
You bet.
every once in a while go back into those and look for things?
Well, yeah, funny you should bring that. I absolutely do. And, I used to do a lot of self-editing. Like, if I thought, I'm never going to be able to perform that, I wouldn't even work on it. That'll cost too much money to develop. I'm never going to have a huge stage to perform on. So I would always, Jonathan Neal Brown, he told me that if it doesn't fit in this little box that goes under the seat in the airplane in front of him, it doesn't make it in the act. And I thought, oh my God, that's tougher than at least a couple suitcases maybe. Maybe pay for an extra suitcase. But, you'd be surprised how many people told me not to work on the operation trick because what a pain in the butt.
So, yeah, it's so much.
It's a headache.
Yeah, right.
But I get more work from that than anything.
Yep. Yep. But that's the thing I know about you as well, is that when you do have an idea and it's a great idea that will set you apart from everybody else, you don't let go of that idea. That's also important for people who create things to understand that it's often they're not just going to immediately get it. Like sometimes it's the floating rose where the pieces come together in 5 minutes, and sometimes it's the operation that takes years to develop it. Yeah.
The other thing, I got booked with The Illusionist, and about a year into the show, the producer comes up to me and says, "What if money and size were no object?" I about had to change my underwear. I mean, and then I thought, oh, look, where are all those ideas that I just threw away because I thought I would never have a chance to do these things. So now, absolutely, there are no limitations in brainstorming. Just even if it's pie in the sky, you think you'll never do it, write it down. Someday you'll go back, you'll revisit it, and go, "Yep, that'll be perfect for that TV show." Mm-hmm. That'll be perfect for that big opportunity. That'll be perfect for The Illusionist. So,
So you're gonna actually share one with us, right?
I am. I've never done it.
Okay.
But I think it'll work. Made a little model here. I love tennis. Let me go this way. Okay. This is my absolute first time trying this. Now, I'm going to try to look in the monitor and try to get this lined up correctly. This is the normal shot. Everything's backwards. Okay. This is the normal shot that all professional tennis matches come back to. They're up in the booth here, looking down this way, right? Actually, let me do it this way. Dan, maybe you can.
I can. Want to hold it for you?
Yeah. Would you come on this side here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So.
I've worked with this camera a lot, so you want it flat
I
like
want
that.
this on this side, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So now, okay.
That looks good.
So which camera? This one here.
We want to do it for the close-up, right?
No, I want to keep.
You're on the wide.
I want to
Okay.
keep it like there.
Yep.
So what happens is we're in the booth here, looking down, and they're commenting on the tennis match. So now, this is a real court with real professional players, and I'm in the booth with the camera. Okay. So now, the idea is you have a mirror. Well, let's turn this around. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
You have a mirror. This is just tinfoil on a piece of aluminum in the back.
This is what we do when we create things.
The back matches the court. Okay, you can see that it all lines up. And on the other side is a piece of this piece of aluminum is plexi mirror, which is going to go here. Okay. You're not going to get a good reflection with the tinfoil, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Basically, looking at it from this angle, down on the tennis court, this mirror is going to reflect all these same lines back here, and it's going to look like a normal empty tennis court. Now, what you've done is you've created a line of, like from this mid-court line here, all the way to the top of this, that whole triangle is invisible.
And it's in an enormous space.
It's an enormous space, yeah. So what you do is you put 15 people laying on their stomachs in a row behind that thing. All right? So now, if you get two players that are really good, they stay in the back court and they bounce the ball back and forth keeping it in the back court. You're going to be fine.
Yep, long volleys.
Yeah. So now I'm in the booth. Boy, this is weird doing it backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. All right, I'm going to be here. So I'm in the booth, and I've got this like business card on a chopstick. Right? And so I come in. I'm learning this too, folks, remember. So I come in like this, turn it like this. Oops. Oops. I go like this. Okay. Now they drop the mirror.
There would be two of these people would do that.
And then they all stand up.
Yep.
And then
some maybe jump over the net.
Yep,
so
some jump over the net. And then I go, boop,
boom,
and pull it away. And you've
tennis
just
court filled with people.
produced 15 people in the middle of an open tennis court.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, right. That's great. Huh?
and it's so cheap for a big illusion like that.
Yeah.
And it's all organic. It's out in the middle of an open tennis court. Now, this idea was, I was writing an article for Magic Magazine with Gaetan Bloom, and the idea was I would come up with an idea, and then he would bounce it around. He would come up with an idea. I would add whatever I could to it. And so you kind of saw the creative process happening. Now, when I sent this to Gaetan, he goes, "Oh, I really love that, but you really need a story. Why do you produce 15 people on the court?" He says, "How about if this guy hits the ball and knocks this guy out, and then you go in with the stick and go like that, and then when you do it like that, say half the people jump over here, half the people are here, and then they're all medical." Doctors and assistants and nurses.
And they all got equipment with them and a stretcher.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's like the clown car idea on a tennis court.
Exactly. Yeah. So you quickly, boom, produce all the people you need to help this poor guy, and it's just an amazing, because you see all the way around the thing. Yeah. It's on obviously a real court because they're playing tennis, and so that's Gaetan's contribution to that.
That's fabulous.
So if you guys get a TV show, do it.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you, for your larger illusions, always build a model?
Yeah, I sure do. I try, because you can figure out a lot of problems in advance. It's a lot cheaper to figure it out in the foam core stage than the Bill Smith and Tim Clothier stage.
But and this is the thing. Very, very quickly, when we'll get back into teaching other stuff. Let's say that the producers buy it. That's the thing, and that's hard to sell them sometimes on it. Because it's hard for them to even understand what we've just talked about here a lot of times. But let's say they buy it. The next step is you have to do actual research. You got to go out to a tennis court, and you got to put a mirror up behind the thing. You got to have somebody lay down. You got to look at it from camera angles. Yeah. It doesn't stop after they say yes. Yeah.
Yep. And then
I didn't realize there was a lot of research for stuff like that.
There is. Yes. No. That's absolutely right. There's a lot of research when you see anything on television.
Wants me to go to a tennis court.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
But finding a story for something like that is a great addition to that. Gaetan.
I like that idea. Like I said, I think I'll go to a tennis court and bring all my buddies and stuff to try.
Well, you have to promise to make a video and send it to me, because I would love to see that.
I said I might.
Here's another trick that I've never ever done in my whole life, but I will do it soon. I just have been a little too busy. But I did a DVD with a friend of mine, Dan Sylvester, and this is a genius idea of his. He created a thing called suspended dimension, and basically he gave me permission to, I told him I wanted to teach everybody this trick that I came up with using his gimmick, and he said absolutely. So the idea is this. It's going to be a little hard because let me switch my mic to here. Okay. Oops, all cooked up. Okay, so what Dan's idea was, I'm not going to perform it for you because I haven't practiced it, but I'm going to teach you what it is. So, all this stuff in my clothes. Okay. So Dan's idea is to be able to take off your jacket, roll up your sleeves, and still do top-it work. Really great top-it work. And what it is, if you have, imagine two identical shirts, you put one on top of the other, then you have suspenders, put that on top of the upper shirt, you cut away the center section of the top shirt, and you stitch the top shirt to the suspenders. So now you can toss behind your suspenders on either side. So you roll up your sleeves, boom, it's gone. You can also produce monstrous large things from it. A friend of mine in LA, Brian Gillis, did a commercial for, I think, the Spinach Association or something, and he jammed all this spinach inside here, and you just have to cross your arms, put your fingers in there, and then go boop, and you produce this huge production out here. It was for a commercial, and it looked awesome. Here's the trick that I came up with. The idea is that I've always loved that confabulation, which was then modified to Andre Cole and Don Wayne made the big chalkboard that Copperfield used, the date with the magician. Mm-hmm. So I thought the premise was always nice. It was a great idea, and but I didn't want to carry around a huge chalkboard. So here's the idea. You have two envelopes. This envelope is backstage, the smaller one, and these are just peel off the thing and they stick. This envelope is already sealed up, and it's with a bulldog clip hanging by the edge of the stage where your curtains are. So what happens is this is got a bulldog clip to a little string. It goes up to another bulldog clip that you stick up as high as you can, and the string goes through that bulldog clip down to another bulldog clip, which is clipping it on the edge of the curtain. So this is up in the air, but it's clipped down by the edge of the curtain. So it can say prediction on it. It can be this way, say prediction. It's hanging there the whole show. So now you have somebody backstage with a big piece of paper, kind of like the size of paper for the bowling pad. So it's 18 by 24. And it's pre-folded so that he can fold it very quickly and it'll fit in this small envelope, smaller envelope. And it's all pre-written, like the story. If you're going to decide it's a date with a magician, you put, we were at blank. We ate this. It cost this. And the color of my tuxedo was this. So all these blanks are in this big long sentence. So your friend backstage is listening. So you take a foam brick and toss it over your shoulder. They toss it, they toss it, they toss it, until finally they're absolutely sure it's not a plant. That person stands up and you say, okay, where would you like to go with me? And they say, Hawaii. All right, so great, Hawaii. And what did we have to eat? A pineapple. Okay, great. And how much did it cost? $3,000. And I thought it was a special occasion, so I wore a tuxedo. What color was my tuxedo? They say powder blue. So, okay, so your friend backstage is filling in those blanks. He quickly folds it up, sticks it in this small envelope, seals it up, and waits just behind the edge of the curtain. So now I go over to the edge of the curtain and say, that's been up there the whole time. I wrote it on, I had a dream last night. I wrote it down, and it's in that envelope. And so now you unclip the bottom curtain and you lower it down. And as my body's touching the edge of the curtain, he takes this envelope and just reaches in and just slides it in here. So I'm like this, and I'm actually pushed right against the curtain, and he just slides it right in. I lower it down, and now I unclip that envelope and walk forward and show it. And, you're there with your sleeves rolled up, tear this open, however. And this cable is kind of in my way. All right. So then at some moment you're talking and all you have to do is reach back here, take out a second envelope, tear this one open, take out your paper and open it all up. Everything's examinable and they get a souvenir and you've just done a really amazing trick with just a couple envelopes. So, thanks to Dan Sylvester for that, and you should really check out his DVD. When we were making it, we were just kind of brainstorming on a bunch of other ideas, and one of the best ones was to take 6 full bottles of beer and open them up, and you can put like one here, one here, and one here, one here, and one here, and then it makes a little line at the bottom of the beer bottles, but you can hold one beer bottle here, like this, and your arms kind of hide that bottom edge of the bottle. So you go, oh, I like beer, but, and then you hold this here and you just kind of reach in behind it and go, oh no, we got 2. And then he puts one here, and then you reach here and you grab another one, and oh, now we got 3. And here, you take one, and then you put it here and here again and reach in and, boom, you got 4. So it's like just a continuous bottle of real opened, freezing cold beers that you can do with this thing. But also, it's just amazing, if you're into top at work at all, take off that jacket, roll up your sleeves, and so, thanks, Dan. Okay. This is a classic. All right. Let's see. I need 2 people to help out. Let's see. Can you just hold this safety pin? It's just a pin, and just kind of, you can stay right where you're at, and I'll just kind of hold it up in the air. Kind of put the point towards me, though. Yep. And you, sir, are these all different? Say yes. Yes. Okay, good. Now I'm going to show you a trick that I invented, and with this little bit of knowledge, you can be the life of any party, all right? So you don't need to buy anything, carry anything special with you. You could just borrow the stuff at the party when you get there, and you can really be the life of the show and the life of the party. And so all you need is a pack of cards, a safety pin, and a balloon. You just peel the balloon off the wall. I'm going to rush through the pack about this fast. Just say stop.
Stop.
Nicely done. Take a peek. Show everybody. Okay, good, great. And say stop again.
Stop.
Good. Put your card on top. Thanks, man. No sense in making this too tough. I'm going to teach it to you anyway, all right? So we're going to perform it. You're going to see how it's supposed to look. Then I'm going to explain it so you can show your friends. So they're fairly new cards, all right? So do me a big favor and don't drop them, all right? They're kind of slippery. The other object I said you needed was a balloon, and we've got one right here. Your card is now in the balloon. Believe me? No. Yes, it is. Are you ready? Hold that away from you. Yep. An audible gasp. I like that. Thanks. Now it's really, that's how it's supposed to look to your audience. It's really super simple to do. You have a card selected. In this case, you pick the 3 of clubs. It goes on top of the deck. You squeeze the pack, and when you pull the center block of cards out, your fingers naturally drag the top card off to the back. So you shuffle to the front. It looks like they're all being mixed up, which they are, except for the selected card. Now, when I gave him the deck, I secretly snuck the top card off, keeping it here, all right? Actually, you don't secretly do anything, just take it. If you secretly do it, you're going to telegraph that it's there. So just take the card, forget about it, and give him the pack of cards. And pick up the black balloon, put it in the same hand as the palmed card, so the black balloon is here. You make the magical gesture. It's inside. It appears.
The noise inside the balloon is...
Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I'm still at the first presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we pop the balloon, you pop out the card, and there's your trick. Now, sometimes you might be at a party and they don't have black balloons. Sometimes it's much more festive than that. Sometimes, even if it's clear or yellow, translucent, you can still see through it. You can still do the effect. You just have to remember one thing. Don't do this. Keep the back of your hand to the audience at all times if you're going to do this with a clear balloon. So now this is a pretty controlled environment, I know, right where everybody's seated. But if I was in somebody's living room doing this, the kitchen could be back here. Somebody walks through. They get that view. And they shout out to their friends, oh, he's got a card in his hand. If that happens, try this. Squeeze. The heat from your hand will slowly and gradually open the pores of the balloon just enough to allow the card inside. Now, it's not all the way in because it's just not warm enough, but you can use other forms of heat as long as they're subtle. Now, when you remove your hand, the cold air circulating contracts the pores and it doesn't break. You now have an impromptu miracle you can do in any party situation. Trust me, people will like you. So this is really super easy to do. This is really a great trick for TV because the camera can zoom in really close when the animation happens. So, let me show you the setup. Shim card, okay. This is a full shim card. It's not one with the two little razor blades in it. This shim material goes all the way to the edges. And you have a little magnet gimmick. It's just a piece of aluminum glued to a little ceramic magnet. And that's magnetic to the card. All right. So this gimmick goes in your right pocket. You've got the safety pin over there. And to make the noise in the balloon, you take a second balloon and you tie it into a little ball. And jam it down inside the black balloon. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Now, you have a little PVC tube. Okay. And you take your clear balloon, stretch it as much as you can like this, get the tube in the end. And now your shim card, you're not going to bend it. If you bend it, the metal will be impossible to get the bend out. So you just roll it just enough to get it in that tube, slide it in there, and take out the tube. Now you're going to inflate it. Oh, this shim is starting to come apart. But you'll get the idea. Then what you want to do is unbend the card to fit the curvature of the fully inflated balloon. So whatever you think that curvature is going to be when the balloon is blown up all the way, that's what you want to try to simulate that bend. So that sits pretty nice in the bend. All right. So that goes in first. If you're doing multiple shows, you can leave that balloon blown up in the shopping bag and just do it for a week. Okay. So you force the card that's already in the balloon, and all right. So you actually perform the trick to for your audience without the magnet gimmick and everything. So you actually give the pin, you have the cards selected, and you actually do palm it off, right? Give them the cards. You actually do pick up the black balloon, put it in front of that hand, do the magical gesture, listen for that. You pop the balloon, sorry, and there's the card. So the audience really thinks that that's the effect you're going for. And then you, when you explain it, you can take the pin back, close it up, put it in this pocket, and then come out with the magnet gimmick ready. So now you take the cards back, you say, well, in this particular case, he picked the 3 of clubs. You have it replaced back to the top of the deck, you squeeze, you really explain to them how you keep the card on top by squeezing and shuffling to the front. You really explain to them how you secretly sneak the card off, and you really tell them how you kept it behind the black balloon. All right, so you tell them everything, basically. So now you say, well, sometimes you might be at a party and they don't have black balloons. Maybe it's a little more festive than that. You can still do the effect. I need to have a little moisture there. I'm really dry, which I have a tip for that. So when this hand is coming down with the card, and this hand is coming out, when you get to the edge, you just drop the real card, and the magnet goes under the shim card, like this, and then you can squeeze the balloon, and it really looks like you're pushing that from the outside. All right, so you explain how to keep it hidden if you're going to use a clear balloon, but if somebody spots it, then you can slide it forward, or so now what you're going to do is you say you're pushing, and the heat from your hand is slowly, gradually opening the pores of the balloon. And when you slide, you're basically sliding your hand towards the front, so they really can't see that. And it's towards the short end of the card. So at one moment, the weight of the card swings down, so you get that nice animation swing. And I can walk right through the audience like this, and there's nothing to see. And then you go to a corner, and with some slight movements, you can get some nice spinning going. Lift it up. And there you go.
Do your lay audiences ask about the sound in the balloon?
No.
Okay.
I mean, they like it, I think. They don't ask.
You're explaining one part of it, but you're not explaining the other part to them about the...
I don't give them a chance.
Yeah, leave them a little mystery, right?
Sure.
I've got a question.
Sure.
Would PK room work for that?
It might. I've never tried it, but I would say absolutely try it.
And that's also another one that you have marketed and probably still have available, lots of different places. So if somebody wants to get that little gimmick and the shim card already made up, they can do that.
But if you want to make
their own,
if you want to make your own, you use .002 steel shim stock
There you go.
to make it.
Where do you get it at?
The steel shim, you just Google it. Yeah, there's one place in Vegas that sells it that I know of.
Of course, it's got to be out of town.
Oh, you'll find one somewhere around here too. Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be, well, I think you'll agree that this is a neat trick. I came up with a principle. Well, I didn't come up with it, I just discovered it. I was in a show for quite a long time that had a fiber optic curtain. Black curtain, kind of dead black, and has all these little points of light. And these curtains are quite popular now in production shows. So, and with the Illusionists, we carry our own fiber optic curtain. So, this principle is this. Imagine if you take a mirror, and you're the audience, you put a mirror perpendicular to the audience, and you have like a down pool of light in front of the mirror, okay? If I'm over here, my view is going to look into the mirror, reflecting here, and then it's going to reflect back this direction, okay? But to you, it's going to look like you can see straight through that. Okay? Same, if this side is mirrored, if you're looking that way, it looks like you can see straight through there. But what's really happening is you're seeing back this direction. And if the light is not directly on the mirror, if the light is just in front of the mirror, you don't have to try to hide your edges of the mirror. Like sometimes, well, even in a mirror tunnel, you don't have to hide the edges. It's just kind of there, and if you burn it, you can kind of see it, but most people are not burning it, so they can't see it. But with this, because it's dead black and because the light is in front, the edges look absolutely perfect. It's like black art because it's reflecting black on black on black. So now, try to imagine a platform that is, 10 feet wide by 7 feet deep. Okay, and it's on 5 or 6 legs because you've got to spread the weight out. And it's maybe 18 inches off the stage. And then behind it, you would have some lights shining this way so that you can see that there's absolutely nothing under this platform. Okay. Now, the curtain is closed in front of it. And the idea is, this was for my own, that I developed for my own show. And it was a kind of a kicker finale. I usually close with the snow. So I was going to do the snow in front of the curtain, and they're presetting this behind the curtain. So I'm doing the snow out there, take a bow, and I go through the curtain. See you later, folks. And what's happening now is I hop up on the top of this platform, right at the very front, and all of my cast members are lined up directly behind me, and built into the platform are these 2 mirrors that they lift up. So my shoulder, one shoulder is here, one shoulder is here, okay? And I'm blocking them. So they're kind of holding up the 2 mirrors, and they're all kind of crouched down behind me, like spoons, basically, lined up. Boom, like this. But now, the best seat in the house is over there and over there, okay? So now I'm standing in the front, and it looks like I'm all alone on this platform. So I reach back, and the person right behind me hands me 2 flagstaffs. So I go, and I produce 2 big 8-foot flags, and I'm spinning them over my head like this. And it looks like I'm just in the down pool of light right at the very front, but they can see light underneath. There's nothing there. They see the platform is thin. I'm spinning these around, and now I crisscross my arms like this, so I obscure this side and this side, but just to the top of the platform. All they do is this. Oop, and then they spread out and move to the front. So then I just drop the 2 flags, and I've just produced my whole cast, 6 people with me on this big little thin platform out in the middle of nowhere. And if you can imagine from this side, when this is up, you're looking through there and you see those pinpoints of light just like on the curtain back here. So, it looks like you can totally see right behind me. You can see completely under the platform with those lights underneath. And with the down pool of light is right here. And, it's kind of a neat production when you just reach back and big flagstaffs, crisscross, boom, your whole cast is there. Because it's fast, because these just float down and they just take a step out. And it's kind of a neat production. So if you're an illusionist, you want to try it, knock yourself out.
So I have a couple of questions on that one in particular. When you crisscross the flags and you're obscuring them, do you just drop them?
Yeah.
And those fall right to the platform? Yeah. Like in their instant?
Or on the floor below.
Yeah, wherever they
on the stage.
What's the exact or approximate size of those mirrors, and are they plexi?
Yeah, the great part is you don't have to have a really true reflection. Yeah. It can be wobbly. It can look like a funhouse mirror, but I think backing aluminum, decent sized piece of aluminum.
Good polished aluminum.
With plexi mirror.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right.
Glue do it. I think
so the mirror's there, and then the aluminum is actually the substrate.
Keeps it stiff and gives you something to attach hinges to.
Right. And it wouldn't even have to be one continuous piece, right? Because again, you're just seeing spots of light.
Yeah, no, it could be sections.
Yeah. All right.
Butted up together. Because it's not, you don't need a true reflection.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I like to add a little shock value occasionally. Do we have that video of the operation?
Next, it's Kevin James.
So I think if you can, I think there's nothing like a little bit of adrenaline to make people remember you. I've tried it in other effects that I've come up with. Like I had an effect with a little bit of Play-Doh, and I would make different things out of it, and they would become real. And at one moment, I made like a little mouse, and the mouse becomes real. And then at the very end of the routine, it's interesting because when you produce a mouse, you get one of two reactions. One is we just want to pet it, and the other one is we're horrified of it. So you always get those two extremes. So at the very end, I'm petting the mouse, and then I just go, and he's back into Play-Doh, and I put him back in the container. I had another effect with goldfish where I had a little bowl of goldfish crackers, and I start to go like this, and one of them's hopping around, and it hops out of the bowl, and the little cracker's floundering like a fish out of water. And then I scoop him up, drop him in water, and he changes to a real goldfish. And then I scoop him up and eat him. And then I reach in and I take out a little fish skeleton. Then my favorite shock thing that I came up with was a thing very, very early in my career. I did this. I'd invite a guy up, borrow his jacket, do cigarette and coat, and then show that his coat was okay, then reach underneath and produce a live duck. And I'll tell you, nothing gets a better reaction than producing a live duck on stage. It's an automatic, huge applause. Then I would set the duck on the stool like this, stroke his tail, and he'd wiggle his tail, and it was really funny. And then I'd turn around and pick him up and kiss the top of his head and then rip his head off, throw it up, and then put it back on, and he was back alive, back okay, you know. So this is the duck head. This isn't the actual duck head. This is a copy of the actual duck head. I saw my duck sleeping in the backyard one day, and from my perspective, it looked like he had no head. And basically, he was sleeping like he always does, and he had his bill under his wing, keeping it warm. That's just how they do it. But from my angle, it looked like he had no head. Now, I'd read in books about the Greek magicians ripping the heads off animals, and even an ox, and I couldn't imagine how they would do that, but I thought that's probably how they did the geese, is they probably bent the head back and had a fake head. So I'm on a search for a duck head. So I go to the duck farm in Anaheim and said, they raise them for food. I said, I'd like to buy a duck. And they said, well, we're not harvesting the crop yet, so we don't have any. So I said, but I really need one now. And she said, well, we had a pet duck that got mauled by a dog, and we didn't have the heart to bury him, so he's in our freezer. Let me have a family meeting and we'll call you. So 3 days later, this lovely lady, Jenny, calls me back and she said, come over and pick up the duck. So she gives me this Walmart plastic shopping bag with this frozen duck. Luckily the dog didn't destroy the face or anything, but she said, we had a big family meeting and we thought it would be better, at least this way he'll be in show business. So I went straight to the taxidermist and said, make this look nice and give me some little dangly things, where the things should be. And so he taxidermied the head for me. And I'll tell you, if you're going to do shows every night, a taxidermied animal body part is not the way to go. They don't last. They're meant to be put on a shelf and that's it. So as this one was deteriorating, I quickly made a mold of it and poured an acrylic one, and we used fur and paint, used little beads for the eyes and painted it up. So this is an acrylic copy. We even had nice dangly stuff on this, but this is like 30 years old. So anyway, so what happens is this thing lives here. So you produce the duck with your favorite method. You put the duck on the stool here. Now, I raised this duck as a baby, from a baby, so it really imprinted like I was its mom, and it would follow me around the yard, and it was really a sweet duck. And when you get an animal and you're going to try to use it in your show, just play with it and see what kind of behaviors it does naturally. Whenever I would stroke his back, he would always wiggle his butt, and it was really cute, really funny. So I would produce the duck, put him here facing upstage, stroke his tail, and he'd wiggle his butt. And then I would reach around and grab him. Now here's what's going to happen. I'm going to just reverse everything. So you're upstage. Okay, so I produce the duck. I put him here. All right, stroke his tail. He wiggles it. When I turn around this way, I'm going to pick up the duck here and put this wing against my body. Quickly, this hand puts his bill under this thumb. So his head is just bent back a little bit. I reach underneath, grab this, and it goes on top. So now when it comes around, I kiss the top of his head. The audience is over here. I rip the head off here. Now flip this up, catch it. Oh, no. Thank you. I got some super glue. It's 30 years old. All right, so I rip it off, toss it, catch it, and then all I'm going to do is turn this way and put it under his body and let his wing out and let his head up and let all his wings out. So now I'm holding his body, and this is upstage of his body. So the audience is there, right? And so now he's back together, and then I can hand him off this way, off stage. So it's really easy to do. I'm happy if somebody resurrects this trick. Do you have any questions about this? It's pretty straightforward, huh?
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Stroke, grab him, put it on top, kiss, and back together. So here's the thing. When I first started this, I was in the Castle Juniors, and we were going to do a big show one week at the Castle. So Irene Larson is in the front row, and she's a huge animal rights activist. And I'm backstage thinking she's going to, kick me out of the castle when she sees this trick. And so I do the trick, and I finish it, and I look down, and she's like, oh, that's great. I love that. And I realized it was because I didn't give her a chance to react negatively. Okay? If you're going to use a very delicate little animal, and you're going to do something terrible to it, better make sure. I mean, I could have ripped the head off and run into the audience going, ah, having blood, and I could have really stretched out and make it, disgusting and gory. But I didn't. I mean, that gives her too much time to go, I really don't like this. So he was back together well before anybody had a chance to go, I don't like it. And obviously the duck is very happy at the end. So, I think if you're going to hurt small animals in your act, you better put them back together quickly.
and treat them nice throughout.
Yeah,
People
absolutely.
realize that.
And they have to make sure that they know it's entertainment. And,
Kevin, did you ever travel with the duck?
Yes.
With a duck.
Yes. Well, times have changed now because of all the bird flu stuff. It's going to be hard to go out of the country with it. And even within the United States, you know, I was basically working in LA at that moment in my career and didn't really have to travel too much. The most I would have to travel is put the carrier in a car, drive to the Hermosa Beach Comedy Magic Club, and then back to Anaheim. So it wasn't too much. It wasn't until I had a job in Lake Tahoe where it was the middle of winter and the duck had to live in my condo with me. Okay, normally I could find a place outside where I could keep him, but not in the middle of winter. So the duck had to live in my bathtub. And ducks make a mess and they smell up the whole apartment. So, and this was just one duck, okay? I had to take that duck every morning, wash him off, put him in his carrier, you know, clean out the bathtub, which was freaking disgusting. And the whole apartment smelled like duck poo. And then I would have to scrub down the bathtub, you know, get all the feathers out, scrub it down, and then, you know, clean myself, you know, before I could take a shower. And then you have to worry about him not eating at certain times, you know, and then he can eat after the show. And so basically it was a month of pure nasal torture. So that's when I actually retired the trick, is after that gig, because it was okay if he was living in my backyard, I'd throw him in a carrier and go to the club, but not if it's the middle of winter in Lake Tahoe. So, and one time I'm waiting on stage and an agent friend of mine who booked me for a bunch of shows, he said, you know, I've seen your show 10 times. I have no idea how you get the duck into that guy's jacket. And like my music is starting and I have to get on stage like right now. And I just, shh. And I walk on stage. This poor guy. How much time do we have?
We have all the time. All the time.
All the time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Plenty of time.
All right. Great. Well, let me show you a really old thing. I used to have a table that was just a very thin table about this high. It was just kind of a box that I could reach in the back and take stuff out, and then I could drop stuff in the top. But it was covered in black velvet, so it was like a black art pedestal kind of a deal. And I don't have that anymore, but I wanted to show you this effect. So I kind of wrapped some velvet around a cardboard box just to illustrate what this is. This is my take on torn and restored newspaper. Now you have to remember that this is a stage trick, it's not a close-up trick. Do we have music for this? I think maybe.
I think we do.
Newspaper?
Yeah.
Music, por favor. Is he there?
Yeah. Do you have the music for the newspaper? I see it coming up. There you go.
That'll work. Okay. This, where the heck is it? Ah, there we go. Okay, so basically it's based on Gene Anderson's Paper Tear. And the idea is you do the fold and you cut over, you find this square, which is right here. And you make a little black velvet cardboard gaff tape wire gimmick that comes in through the slit in the back. This was for a competition act, by the way, so it was really designed to mess with judges. And then you have to cut out from a third paper what that piece would be, the right shape. Okay? So you fold it like you would a normal Gene Anderson tear. Oh, I forgot to do a move, which I'll show you now. Okay, this goes here. This opens up here, comes back like this. Okay. And that and that. Okay, so you're like this. And you have the little piece here. Okay, now the Gene Anderson has a like a wire loop like this, and you wrap it with newspaper. And now this is just going to go here, and you're not going to glue it like you do in the normal Gene Anderson. You're just going to close the right side, then you're going to put the extra piece that's going to fall in there, and then the left side. So that's your restoration packet. Now, this paper is not going to match because I ran out of them, but you'll get the gist of it. Wait a minute. Yeah. So now, just a little glue stick, and that goes on the gimmick part, not on the paper part, not on the newspaper, but just on the gimmick. And I'm going to glue this in here, right at the top. All right, so that's there. And we're going to fold it up. Okay, so you start like this. And open the paper. The gimmick is here. So you start making the tears. Okay. Here, just kind of get a little sloppy. There's some more. So now you're in this position. Now I'm going to fold this around here. Actually, let's spin this around. Okay. So now the audience is there. So I fold this here and here. And I'm going to bend the one piece around. And I've got the extra piece here to fall. All right, let me do it this way. So that falls. And now I'm bending this piece around. And I'm going to bend the wire around my middle finger here. Middle finger right here. Bend that around. So now I'm here. And I'm ready to restore it. So I'm going to kick it forward. And the torn pieces are going to come back like this. Okay, boom, like this. And I'm going to kick the newspaper forward. So it's kind of like, restores it like that. And then I'm going to just drop the pieces in the tabletop. And this black art is going to catch the black there. And hopefully the piece is on the floor right in front of you. Now, here's the move I forgot to do. What I normally do is I show the two fingers like this, and I go in the top and go, oop. like I'm showing my fingers behind the hole. And then I go, oh, there it is. And then I pick this up and I show, yeah, that's the piece that's missing. And I'm pushing against the velvet here, and I'm just going to put everything together up through the slit and back, all of it back into the tabletop, and then come back here and rub a little bit. Now show it, and now I'm going to fold this up and toss it into the audience as if there's nothing to find. But there really is something to find. There's a little slit, but if they can reconstruct that whole trick from a little slit, they deserve to know. So, all right, that's the newspaper tear. Okay, I'd like to show you the little promo that the Illusionist put together to pitch their show. The reason for that is I'm about to show you the floating rose, and the floating rose I do in the Illusionist show every time, and I do it out in the middle of the audience, and sometimes I'm lucky enough that it can steal a review once in a while. So anyway, just so everybody can see our show. So in Mexico, we were performing for 8,000 people at a time. And we have these really high definition cameras and great video projection. And I'm down in the middle of the audience with a little girl doing the floating rose. And this trick can play really anywhere. I'd like to show it to you now. Yeah, Would you please come up again, Jen?
Yes, sure.
Give her a round of encouragement. Sorry. I'm going to get this. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to get this out of the way. All right. Yes, perfect. Music maestro. Would you open that up? Show both sides. All the way, yeah. Perfect. I know. Let's go. Now, hold your finger like this. Right there. Wiggle. Yeah. You can do it. Yeah, you got it. Yes. Keep trying. Yeah. Concentrate. Maybe try two hands. Nice job. Does it smell real? Not really, no. Yeah, just paper.
Oh my goodness.
Well done. And thank you very much. So normally I do this now with a little girl from the audience, usually about 5 or 6 years old. And it took me about 20 years to figure that part out. When I first started doing it, there was, okay, some guys can pull off this Rico Suave Copperfield can. I can't. I'm not that guy. And so, you know, it sort of has, you know, kind of romantic intonations. It's a flower and all that. And I just felt there was something wrong for me with that for a long time. Then I tried it with an older lady, a kind of a grandmother type, and it was much, it changed the whole vibe. It was much more sweet. And you know, how often does your grandmother get a flower? I mean, it's beautiful. And then one day, I just, out of the blue, we tried it with a little girl, a little kid. And the moment when she gets to make it move, there's that moment that when she really believes she's doing it. And it's this sheer sense of innocence, this real, clean, pure, just comes over her face. And that's really the money shot. Then the whole audience goes, oh, wow, we get it. Okay, that's the feeling you had when you were a kid, you know, when you first saw magic for the first time. And it just changed the whole dynamic of the trick. And so now I really like performing it with a little kid. And let me show you how this thing works. It's, let's see. A lot of people probably do it already, but we'll give it a shot. I broke the first thread. Let's see. Oops, I have to dig around for something. Do you want? Yeah. It won't take long, but
Yeah, sure.
I can talk while I do it.
You can, absolutely.
Okay, so while I'm digging around over here,
Yeah.
I think invisible thread is this wonderful hidden assistant that is a, just like Gaetan, I can do 10 different tricks using a little piece of thread, and they all look different. It's one of those wonderful hidden assistants that, it even goes so far as, like flying is like invisible thread to me. Ah, we got it here. Okay. I bought a flying rig because it's a great trick, and I think it's just like invisible thread, only I'm not going to fly with it. I think I can do 10 different tricks with it, and they're all going to look different. Like the first one is, I have this diminutive assistant, Antonio, who I've worked with for 30 years. And he and I are going to be turn of the century bodybuilder, acrobat types, weightlifters. And, we're warming up on stage. Only I'm connected to the flying rig. So I'm going to go to pick him up, and he's going to go, wait, it's my turn today. So he's going to pick me up and bench me over his head. And then we're going to do handstands and balance head to head. And with the flying, you can rotate this way and go side to side and go up and down. So with these 3 little movements, you can do quite a lot. So we could be balancing head to head. I'm on top of his head upside down, and he's walking around the stage like this. And we can do everything that those guys do at the end of Miss Steer. Only we're never going to tip off that it's a gaff. It's just going to look like this. He's the strongest little dude on the planet. So I think, there we go. Let me just give you another quick example. I'm not going to teach this, but I'm going to show it to you. This is one of my favorite close-up tricks to do. This is invented by John Cornelius. It's called Fickle Nickel. Just with a quarter. Just close, no sleeve. Little squeeze. Not there. Not there. Another little squeeze, and it comes right back. So go find John Cornelius if you want to learn that one. But it's one of those really beautiful little things with a piece of thread that, okay, where did I put it? Here it is. Okay. Dan, maybe if you could hold a piece of white paper, maybe the back of a piece of paper would be awesome.
Where do we need it?
I think we're going to bring this table over here. Yeah, if you kind of do it like that, that would be awesome. All right, so we have a little wax. And you're going to break off the length of thread that you're going to use. Now, I like to use about that much for the floating rows. Okay. Now I'm going to strip it out. And I like to use a very non-elastic thread because when I make it move, I use my tongue to create the animations. And I want the animation to be really crisp, so I don't want a lot of slop in an elastic thread. So I have this. I found the best tape to use for me was this black masking tape that you get at an art supply. I can do this better without the glasses. So what I'm going to do is take one strand, tape one end with the black tape, wrap it around quite a bit, and this is the little tab that's going to end up in my mouth. Okay. Now you pinch here, and then you start to work out the slack. We're going to pull a little more out, and what?
Can you hold that? Or do you
Sure.
used to having it drop down?
Yeah, and then I slide it out, pull a little more, slide it out, a little more. Creates a bundle like that. Then you kind of slide it out, and it actually comes out pretty easy. Okay. There we go. Okay, you can let go.
Right.
Now, I'm going to find the other end. And the white background is the best way to see it. And I've got a little smaller piece of tape that I'm going to secure the other end. And now I've got a little thread dispenser that I use. And this is just basically a little piece of plastic with two posts glued.
Can you turn it here? This way. See those two posts
Yeah.
like that?
Two little posts glued and two magnets on the end. Okay? And make sure I've got all the thread off from before. Okay. So now I'm going to tape it here, wrap the little black tape there, and I'll maybe hold this here. So now I'm just going to put one finger on this end and one finger on this end, and that's so that I never accidentally wrap around the gimmick there. So now I'm just going to wind it up on the little post. And you can preset these well in advance and keep them in a little Altoids box so they're safe and sound. And then just before you walk on stage, you stick it to the mic stand. Okay, so now you get that all the way up there. Good, okay. Take a little bit of wax. I'm going to stick it right on the tape. Put the wax right there on the tape. And then I'm going to take the little tape tab and stick it to the wax. So now...
And you have two posts because you like to have two set up. Right?
I absolutely have two set up because I just broke the
That's
first
right,
one
that's,
just now.
That's it, exactly. Do
And
you need this anymore?
No, thanks. So now the gimmicks, you can put a few of them in here, already pre-made. Keep that in your pocket, and so they're really safe. And then if I'm in an English-speaking country, I'll use a mic stand. And if I'm not in an English-speaking country, then I'll have a table like this with a candlestick and a candle, and have the gimmick on the back of the candlestick, so I can just light it. Invite somebody up, do the trick without talking, just play the music, and then instead of getting the lighter, I just take the candle and light it and produce it. Okay. So regarding having a backup, I always have a backup because if I have one, I'm much more calm, and I usually never need it. If I don't have a backup, then I'm much more nervous, and I can get into trouble that way. So The gimmick just lives on the mic stand here. Okay. Now, in The Illusionist, I just already have this loaded in my mouth, and I'm found in the audience like this. So I use the mic to talk. I get the kid out of the audience. She comes there. I use the mic to, hey, what's your name? Okay, all that. Open it up, show everybody, get the camera in, and so then we start that way, and then I lower the mic stand and get it out of the way and kneel down. So I'm on her level. And then begin the routines. And but if I'm using an adult, I can keep the mic tall and keep the anchor at the right height. So I think what we should do now is switch to maybe some white string so we can see the details. So let me take this off. And I'm just going to tape the string to the mic stand. We're not going to mess around with dispensing it. And flash paper. Okay. There we go. So you're going to want to experiment with the size of this tape tab. You don't want it too big where it makes a bulge, but you don't want it too small where it's going to pop out. Okay. So we're going to tape one for my mouth. Now, this tab is going to go down in the front between the lip and the gum horizontally, and it's going to come out the left side and over my tongue to the right. And so it's actually going to go to the left, over the tip of the tongue, and out to the right. And if it ever falls off your tongue, just turn your head to the left and it pops right back on. Okay. So we're just going to tape this to about the right height where the dispenser would be. Okay. So here we go. So it's already still wound on the dispenser when I'm found, and it's not until I move the mic stand away when it dispenses. Okay. So this is going to go about here. Jen, would you come back up again? Let me stick that back in the secret place. I have an extra long pocket sewn in my right side, so I can use a real long stem rose. It's just classier, I think. So now, yeah, stand a little closer. Perfect. Okay, good. All right. Slam the door. Okay. All right. So the first thing I do is I take out the paper. Say, would you do me a favor? Open that up all the way. Show it to our cameraman. Which actually works, and show him both sides. Perfect. Nicely done. And music, maestro. But don't do it now. So now I can just feel anytime I go up next to my mouth like this, like I'm thinking or whatever. That's a great way to get the thread. So now this goes over the top. So I fold it in half, flip it over the top of the thread, and keep it right in that crease. All right. So I know right where it is. So now I'm going to just ball it all up. Doesn't matter. Just make a nice ball and put it here. All right. Can't talk while I animate, so I'm just going to kind of stop and talk. So start to go like this, and I start really slow because the little girl's face is going to be right there. I tell the cameraman, keep her face, my face, in the action in the spot. And which I laugh really loud when that happens, and it gets a big reaction with the audience. So next is under the hand. And then I kind of move forward, which kind of creates a triangle situation. Now, just by moving back, it straightens it out and makes it travel this direction, horizontally. So if you bounce it and move back at the same time, it looks pretty neat because you get a whole different direction. Like I'm giving her a better look. I take the triangle the opposite direction. Back to center. Now I hold your finger up, right, and I position her, and I go, okay, you can do it. Now I'm normally off microphone here, but you can hear my mic now. But normally I'm just talking right to her. This is a live mic in the live show. So I can talk to her all day long and they can't hear me. So I'm saying, okay, try it. You can do it. Just wiggle that finger. Yeah. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah. Okay, think positive. Concentrate. Yes, a little faster. Yeah, okay. And everybody feels like I'm going to stiff the girl, and just like make her look stupid and she can't do it, right? But then finally I go, try 2 hands. And then it works right away. And that's what happens. So now she's got it, and then I stop her, and I go, give her the applause, all right? So it's a big applause cue there. Now, I'm going to open this up until I see the crease on this side. Now, when I open it up, boom, I know right where the thread is. It's on top, and I can move forward. So now, take my time, show this. Sometimes I get applause when I open this thing up the whole way. So now, this is 2 fingers to make the top, and 1 finger to make the bottom of the bud. All right. Stem. Bring the leaf up. This is the moment when I'm really making eye contact with the camera, like, oh, this is going to be great, And then here, that's the first moment they see it's a rose. All right, smell it to the heart. Oh, yeah. And now I go here and I smell it again. Well, it's just an excuse to get this finger up here so I can find the thread. So now I go, does it smell like a real flower? And what I want her reaction to be is, I want the little girl to go, no. So I'll say, does it smell like a real flower? It doesn't, does it? And then she'll, no, okay, good. Which gets another laugh. It's like, smell bad? Yeah. You can say anything to her to make her go like that, okay? So I've got control of the thread here. It goes down, and all I'm going to do, this is really important. All you do is you come here, the bottom of the bud goes on the string, and all I'm going to do is lift this up and turn, and you're on. Now you can go up and down this way, okay? So now, it goes here. Bring it up to smell. Big applause cue. Bring it back. Now I take the lighter, test it. Always keep 2 lighters in your pocket in case one gives a dump on you, That's from experience. So now the last one is here. I have no idea what this string is going to do when I light this, so.
Yeah.
Get this ready. And then this goes here and forward. And smells like burnt hair.
Directly at it.
You produce a real rose, and now it smells good. You give it to her, and then you make her stand up, and I have her take a bow right in the camera, and give her the applause, send her back to her seat. And obviously the thread gets destroyed every time. So. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, even more so.
You
I got
have a question?
Would an ITR work for that too?
It might. I've never tried it, but
I think the main drawback with any thread reel is that it's going to keep the thread under tension. It's not something that you want for some of the movements.
Yeah, I think
you can't get to the other part of it because
yeah.
Because I use an ITR with sometimes.
Yeah.
You'll find. I mean, if you try it out like this, you'll find that you can get a lot more movement out
I've
of
got
it.
another question. What about a spider pin? Would that work?
I think any reel is going to give you that same tension problem. I think you want to be able to loosen it and create tension when you want, and have crisp animation. I think when I make it move, I really want it to move exactly here.
And you must go through a lot of flash paper.
Oh yeah, I buy it by the, thousands of sheets at a time.
Right. And so, because of that, do you have travel issues with flash paper? Okay, fair enough. It's just paper.
Yeah, basically I carry paper napkins for the snow trip
Right.
as well, so I fold them the same way, stick them in the same little Ziploc bag, and throw it in the bottom deepest crevice of my case, and I've not gotten busted yet.
And I'm not the guy that jinxed you, so I didn't do it. So we have a question over here.
Yeah, Kevin, what kind of lighting conditions are ideal, and when will you not do it based on lighting?
Well, I'm going to, anytime I have to go do a quick TV show somewhere, I always, especially with high def cameras now, I say I got to test this before the show. Give me the lighting exactly the way it's going to be. Let's stick it up there. You get into a high def monitor and tell me if you can see this string. I hang something on it and go, do you see it?
Yeah, and are you okay with letting the crew know what's actually
Yeah,
going on?
sure.
You don't mind,
I
right?
just
To make
don't
sure
want the
it's
people
good.
at home to know.
Yeah. Right.
And they're always pretty good about it. And sometimes they can zoom in and they'll go, "Well, I start to see it." And so okay, well, stay back. Don't come in that close. And this is a great background for it. It's textured. The only thing, if I was back here, this light would probably give me problems because it would backlight it. But I think throwing a lot of light on the background, most TV studios are like that. Where I get into problem is if I'm on a big stage with a black background and they want to shoot spotlights on me, then you've got a dead background, and if there's any kind of backlight, that's a problem. You want to really aim for as much general, soft, ambient wash as possible.
So on stage, would you avoid a follow spot?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially using thread anyway.
Yeah, ambient wash with a lot of light on the background is important.
Can you
Yeah.
explain the technique at the time, what precisely you're doing to get the...
Yep, it's horizontal this way, and then it comes over the tip and out to the right. So I'm just kind of pulling back.
Yeah, so you're not moving the tab. You're not getting the tab up on top of your tongue and trying to pull on it or anything like
No,
that.
tab is
It's
anchored.
It's like the thread's wrapped around your tongue, and
It's just laying over the tip,
Yeah.
and I'm pulling back on it.
right. Okay. And then I had a question about when you're working in a language that you don't speak. Are you not verbally cueing then? Are you just relying on
Yeah, I can.
your mime abilities to get them to do what needs to be done?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can do it totally without speaking.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you can even, better yet, learn a few words, a few keywords in the language.
Yeah.
Huele bien? Nah. So, yeah. And it's funny too, like in the bowling, on the back of my bowling pad, if I'm in a different country, I'll write the word, bowling ball on the back of the pad. So just before I'm walking on stage, I can go, okay, Kugel. Means ball in German. So, okay, so, Kugel, So,
Yeah.
so I've had bowling pads where I've got 10 different languages, written on the back of the pad.
Since you brought it up, you weren't planning on teaching the bowling ball, were you?
No.
And
They can buy it at Penguin.
They can. They can. Yeah, they can. And you
Yeah.
know, that's fine. It's, you know, some things are performance only.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hey, could I get the bowling ball trick at any local magic shop?
Absolutely. We wholesale. Penguin has it. You bet. What else was I going to...
You were going to talk a little bit about rose oil.
Yes. Now, when we first put out the DVD, it was when VHS was the popular medium, and it talked about all the IT technique and all of the the technical stuff on how to do it. And then 10 years go by, and the world decides it wants to go with DVD. So we thought that why don't we, instead of shooting the whole thing, we'll just keep the initial hour of technique on there. But then there were ideas that I came up with and that my friends came up with that were all kind of rose related. And so we said, let's just add all this new stuff. So now there's another hour of just crazy, interesting rose related ideas. I have to tell you, I get probably 5-6 emails a year from magicians telling me that they proposed to their wife using my trick.
Yeah.
Amazing. And let me show you a couple things. This is one of the ideas. Rose oil. A friend of mine, David Kesterson, came up with this idea. And Kozak, another friend of mine, came up with this idea. And they were both generous enough to let me share them with you. So this is just a little contact lens case with a little tiny sponge in it. And rose oil, you can get it in any fragrance shop. And so you just put a couple drops of the rose oil. It's pretty powerful stuff on the sponge. And then you close up your little contact lens paste. So now in the morning, when you're throwing your keys in your wallet in your pocket, just toss this little guy in there too. So now, should anybody out and about, you can always pretty much find a Kleenex or a paper towel or a cocktail napkin if you're in a bar or a restaurant. And somebody asks you to do something, say, well, I didn't really bring anything, but if you have there's a napkin at the bar right there, grab me a napkin. So you're sitting at the table and you reach into your pocket, and all you're going to do is flip this open with your left hand, put your left middle finger on the rose oil and close it back up. So it's just a great way to manage the fragrance. So now when they bring you this napkin from the bar, you open it up and say, I'm completely unprepared, but we'll try something a little impromptu. So now you take the one finger out to make the bottom of the bud, and you're dispensing the fragrance right in the bottom of the bud. So now you open this, bring the end up for the leaf, finish it up. You say, I think it was Shakespeare that said, a rose by any other name smells just as sweet. You give it to her. And don't tell her to smell it. Let her discover it. You give it to her kind of close to her face, and you're also saying a rose by any other smells just as sweet. Chances are she's going to go, and now it smells like a real rose, and she's going to come unglued. And don't underestimate the power of this. I mean, it's really, really, really subtle, but I'm telling you, people react to that. And then they start grabbing the other napkins and smelling them. And so, I mean, it's pretty amazing little impromptu thing, sort of impromptu. But so that's one of the ideas that is on the DVD. Also, most plastic water bottles have a beautiful little curved design right here, which is great for dispensing thread. Right? That part right there, just like a spool. So you could tape a thread here, wind it around, wax it right to there. This is, let's say you're doing a show outside and it's a picnic or whatever, and, it makes sense to have a bottle of water. Get the little tab in your mouth, take a drink, put this back on, and then set it down. You got your anchor. So it's a great impromptu dispenser for thread. Another little cool idea. Another one was to take a rose, and you know how the leaves are like this? Is you take a ring. How did that work? Anyway, it's appearing, a ring appearing on a rose. So it was something where you do like a ring flight kind of thing, and the ring's gone, and then you kind of forget about it. And then as you're going into your case or whatever, you slide the ring on the bottom of the rose and get one leaf up through, and so the ring goes back down. Then you can load it, and then later on in your show, you're doing the thing, you produce the flower, boom, the ring is actually on the middle of the rose. I did that for a guy who was proposing to his wife. He asked the illusionist if we could find some way to let him propose to his wife. So I got him and his wife up recently in Australia this last time, and did the rose with her and produced it, and then I produced the flower, and I said, this isn't really for you, it's for him. And I gave it to the guy, and then I stepped back and took the mic and became his kind of mic stand, and he dropped to his knee and took the ring off and proposed to her, and it was kind of sweet. So I'm trying to think of what else regarding the rose. So there's an hour of really good technique, then an hour of a bunch of other ideas that are rose related, and Gaetan has a wonderful concept of using threads for indirect purposes, and so I would research all of his stuff with invisible thread as well. Finjan, also a great exponent of invisible thread. Search out anything you can on his work with that. David Roth had a great quote about Gaetan where he said, he's fooled me a bunch of times, and every time it was a little piece of thread about this long. And it's absolutely true. It's a great tool, and so learn how to use it. It's great. You know who Uri Geller is? Yeah, he bends metal with his mind, bends spoons. I don't know why he bends spoons and stuff, but I can do a little bit better. That's the easy part. Here's the hard part. This is a wonderful trick by Mark Kornhauser. And Mark is a very funny comedy magician. These spring cans were very popular a while ago, so you might have one of these in your junk drawer. If you do, drill a hole in the bottom, put a strong thread through, tie it to the top, so you can pull on the thread and it'll scrunch it down this way. If you tie it to a spoon, you can come out and talk about Uri Geller. That goes in your belt. As your anchor, the thread goes under your arm. And then just by moving your backside back, you get the initial crunch. The audience never reacts there. A lay audience doesn't react there. And then you go, well, this is the hard part. That's the easy part. Here's the hard part. And you just sort of straighten back up. And really good for MCs and comedy guys. And thank you, Mark Kornhauser. Okay.
I think next we'd have to jump ahead to the salt pour to be back on track.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm confused. All right. There we go. Okay, so this, again, used... Okay, I'm probably going to flash a lot when I perform this for you, but I just threw it together. I haven't done it in years. I just threw it together. These are not my actual props that I used a long time ago because I can't find them. And so I made the props out of foam core and some other stuff. But you'll get the idea, and with some practice, you can do it without flashing, I'm sure. So this uses my old style table again. And you're going to need to put something on the floor, unless you want to get everybody angry with you. Okay. Okay, so I'm not sure how this is going to look, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. So, music please. Maestro. Okay. So this is just made out of black foam core, but you should, if you're going to do this, have a nice one made. Okay, make it out of wood or aluminum or something. And there should be this is basically a Jap box, right? I saw Neil Foster at an Abbott's Magic convention doing split fans and producing cards, and basically he'd produce cards and drop them in the box, and then at the very end he went boom and everything was gone, or like this, and it just knocked me out of the water. And I remembered that when I was trying to come up with a salt pour routine. I saw Fred Capps do the salt pour, and it was really, really funny, and I thought, you know what, let's do some research on that. So here are the gimmicks. Did I dump it out? Okay, let me find everything first. So, we got this, Now, here we go, that. And the lid to the salt shaker, which is not really that important. Okay. All right, so basically, in your table, you have a little angle iron here and a little angle iron here, which allows you to set your box on top. The box could be much smaller than this. It could really be about like this big, square. Okay. This is a racquetball. This was an idea that I got from Paul Kozak from a linking ring issue that he did, where you take a racquetball and you slice it, and then what that does is if the stream is perpendicular to the audience and you squeeze a little bit, it gives you a nice wide stream. A lot of salt gimmicks, the salt's coming out of a little hole, and this gives you a really nice wide stream. So it looks like a lot. When I cut this racquetball 2 days ago, I realized that it wasn't closing all the way, so I couldn't get it to turn off. So I taped a rubber band around it to keep it closed. So you can see when you squeeze it, it opens up. So that's how you control the salt coming out. And then I put a little loop of very thin piano wire on there, and you hit it with a black felt marker. And so I can use it like a hank ball, so my hand looks pretty empty, but really it's on there, and it keeps it in the right position to make the nice wide stream. The salt that you use is a popcorn salt. You do not want to use regular salt unless it's an emergency. This stuff is really much finer, and so you can put a lot more in there. And it's just a much finer grain. Yeah. Shake it up, put a little more in. Okay. So this ball, shake it till it stops. Good. Okay. It's going to be there in your little holder. Now, the the final load is my favorite part. That's mine. I came up with that. Let me show you this. It's a here we go. Kleenex, nice soft paper, and you have a loop of piano wire that has a here, I'll hold it in front of there. Loop of piano wire that's bent around each other and then taped. Okay, that's going to be your loop for it. So you lay the napkin down, you pour a bunch of salt in the middle. Okay, now you're going to bring the corners up like this. Can you actually put a little more in there? Okay, bring the corners up like this. Okay. Twist it. Get some tape ready because you're going to need it. Now your little loop is going to go in there, and then you're going to tape the whole thing down like this. So you just tape the heck out of it so it can hang like a hank ball as well. Try to get some of these edges to stick down. Okay. All right. So you've got your final load there, which goes right here in the very front corner of the box. Now the racquetball is going to go next to the Kleenex load, and then the salt shaker is basically, I took a little piece of paper and cut it to the shape that I thought would be in there, and then I glued a little Mylar to the paper and stuck it down in there, and then on the white side I put Kleenex down in there. So when it's this way, it looks like a shaker full of salt. But then when you turn it, you just slowly turn the shaker, and it looks like it empties out. Okay, so when it vanishes. And then also when you're refilling it, you just slowly turn it around, and now it fills up, and when you're filling it back up. So that's just a very simple solution to that. And that's going to live right there. All right, so first thing you're going to do, music starts and you bring out your shaker and you let them know what it is by throwing the salt over your shoulder, take off the lid, goes in there. Now you're going to put this here, slowly turn it so it looks like your hand fills up with the salt. And I'm going to put it in the little shelf that's right here. Oh, so when I put it in here, my thumb is going to loop the racquetball. I blow here and the salt disappears. Now I grab some here, grab some here, grab some here, grab the shaker, and then boom, start it. It's good if you're wearing black, shows up really nice. It's a nice, simple, easy stream, and you spin this around and you've got, boom, full shaker.
Kevin, is the mouth of that salt shaker actually closed up completely so that no salt will go in it, like on the mirror side? Or?
It isn't.
No,
but,
okay.
But it could be.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so boom, your first music cue is there, and you give the sound guy the go, and he plays the little tag, and oh my God, one more time, come on, yeah, and now it's getting serious. It's getting a little thicker. This just goes in the bottom, and I start putting it in my pockets. And, these are all Fred Capps moves, writing his name on the floor and looking at his watch, and now at this moment, I try to catch it, and I'm like looking for where do I put this, and I'm going to dump a bunch. I'm just going to give a big squeeze and dump a bunch into my left hand. So now I'm doing two really big streams, like I'm milking a cow, All right, and when I run out of the racquetball, I'm going to ditch the racquetball and just kind of put my hand on the corner here and look at that while I scoop up the full load in my right hand, and then. Oh my God, so now I just break it and I go forward, and it's try to keep it in the front part of that box, and then you're listening to your music to see when it ends, and then this little piece of napkin and the wire goes in the front, and then boom, or through your arm like that or whatever. And foam core, man. So, any questions on that?
But see, that's a great bit, that little discovery there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when we first saw it, I thought
it was
that
part
was
of it?
Part of it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was part of it.
There you go.
I meant to do that. I guess the best stuff is found that way. All right. What a mess. We're here, aren't we?
Yeah, we should probably get this out of the way while you're getting.
Yeah.
I'll take care of this.
Thanks.
Yep.
Sometimes if I'm going to do some sleight of hand, your hands are a little dry. Gary Darwin gave me this tip a long time ago. This is called Cornhuskers lotion. Cornhuskers lotion. And if you use this on your hands, there's no oil in it, and it makes your hands slightly tacky so that you can palm things much better. So that's just a little tip. Walgreens or Walmart. So thanks, Gary, for that tip. And, I'd like to show you something that Carol Fox taught me a long time ago. It's for a kid's show. So, yeah.
Okay.
So imagine you get the birthday kid here, and and you have a bottle of water there?
I do.
Yeah, grab your bottle of water. Yeah. So stand here. Take a drink. Yeah, good. Look over there. Good. Thank you.
I don't know if that picked up on camera. Could you see it okay? That's great.
So, basically you have a little squirter from a squirting cigarette gimmick, and you keep it in your hand so that it's kind of pointing backwards. So the kid takes a drink, right, and your hand just goes up behind their head this way. And hopefully there's other kids on the floor, because it makes a big reaction if you squirt the other kids. So this hand just goes up here behind their head, and you blow in their ear here, and yeah. So thank you, Carol Fox. I always find it's fun to mess around with. I like to go out to eat with friends of mine, and imagine you're at a restaurant. Would you come up and help out? Yeah. Yep. Can you?
Bring a chair.
Yep. Just bring it right here. Kind of. So you're at a restaurant, and you're with your friends, and they're all sitting around a table, and somebody says, probably a layman is going to say, "Hey, do a trick for us." And so here's what I like to do. All right. So I pick up some silverware. Now everybody knows this flipstick stuff, right? You can do it with a table knife, a comb, anything, chopstick. So I'll pick up something sharp like a fork and go solid. Ready? Fuck! Ow! Oh my God! Oh my God! Sorry, man. Thank you very much. Nice job. We can beep it, right? We can beep it.
This is live, but you know, it's okay because that was French.
Yeah, that's right.
It's French for sea lion. Look it up. Educate yourselves, people.
Okay. So you just have to have a friend who's ready with his fork when he sees that, you know, you're going to do this trick. Give him the high sign, you know. And then, you know, he'll take his fork off and have it ready in his hand like this under the table. And flip stick is very simple. You just kind of put pressure against it and it flies back behind your hand. But you kind of just do it in his general direction. And then he does that and screams as much as he can. And it gets a big laugh, so try it. Thank you very much.
Very funny.
Oh my God. Sorry. Okay. Now imagine you're at an Italian restaurant, and you know, everybody's ordered, and your plate of spaghetti comes here, and they're putting everybody's food down, and you go, you know, is anybody here is it like dry? Are you itchy? I'm really itchy, and you lean over your pasta and go. And you pick up your fork and bon appetit, everybody. Start eating it, right? So next time Pizza Hut delivers, get some extra Parmesan cheese packets. And under the table, you put one in your hand. And there you go. Trust me, they'll like it. And you were going to put cheese on it anyway, right? You know, so. Oh my gosh. Let's try one more. I know what I want to do.
Yes.
This is Gaetan Bloom and I worked on a project not too long ago called Full Bloom, and it's a beautiful 2-volume set that full of Gaetan's ideas and his history and all of that stuff. And I would like to show you one trick from that book. All right, it's a very funny trick, and I do it in the Illusionist show. So, music, please. This is my new invention. It's a knot tying machine. It works very simply. You put a rope in the tube and you let it come out the bottom. You leave some out the top. Listen close. Oh shit, it's not working. Oh my God, it's broken. Okay, so imagine there's a big clanking noise. And you go. Better? Do it again. 2. Yep. Now you go down to somebody in the audience and you say, you turn it. Turn it a bunch. Don't stop. It's funnier with the big clanking noise. Yeah, okay. Oh my God, what did you do? Nice job. Wow, I can't believe it broke. Must have been in my luggage. Wow. Got to get that fixed. Okay, so it's got a clanker thing on it, and I don't know, Dan. Do you want to talk about anything else?
Oh yeah, are you not going to tip that? They have to get the books to learn that one.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty much, yeah. But, you would be somewhat surprised.
Oh, really?
Well, we have viewers of all ages and knowledge.
Oh, yeah, sure.
From all over the world, so
Okay, yeah, it's pretty simple. It's a.
It doesn't require a tube that complicated.
No,
it's
you
really
can.
Nice
You could make it out of cardboard and tape one of those spinning clacker things to it. But I needed something that was gonna last. It broke. I need to get a case for this thing. That's what I need. Okay, so the big knot is just on a piece of PVC, and that just kind of sits down inside, and it goes on a tube, and there's a string to a little nut that gets held with a magnet. And basically I just have the 2 knots in my hand from the beginning. So we lower it through the inner tube, push the knots down in, clank, 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 do 1, hold 1 knot, show the first one, drop it back down, clank, 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 grip it above the 2 knots, show 2 knots, push it back down. Now what I normally do is before the show, I'll go into the audience and find like a little kid that it looks like he's going to pay attention and help, and I cue him ahead of time. I say, when I give you this thing to spin, don't stop and do it really fast. And it's really funny with when I give it to a little kid, he's just like, and when the noise is working, it's great. And then so I start to shake because the kid's doing it so much, and finally pull it away from him and go. And then you grip the nut and the top knot and pull it all out together, and then you get the big payoff. Gets a huge laugh, and another gay Tom.
Please tell me you say, "Hey, that's not funny," when you say that.
well, if you're working, for kids shows and that kind of stuff, and that's your character, that's a great bit of business to say that.
It would be, yes. Yeah. And I think low tech is good for that too. If it looks like a Pringles can and with something taped on it to make the noise, it would be great. Yeah.
Well, that's what you had planned, so let's have a big round of applause for Kevin James. And Kevin. And Kevin, come on over here, have a seat. We'll talk for a little bit, because a couple of people did write in, some questions, but there's also a few things that I was curious about. One of the clips that you showed was from America's Got Talent. That was the one clip that we saw. We saw the judges there, so you probably recognize that. What's that whole process like for real? How much can you honestly tell us about what it's like to go through getting on America's Got Talent, and then once you're there, what you need to do? Sure,
I was kind of tricked into it. I didn't really want to do it, and Nathan Burton had just done the first year, and Nathan really understands promotion, and he is really great at getting promotion and developing promotion, and he understands that you don't go on that show to win. You go on that show to be in front of 20 million people all at once, as often as you can. So the trick is to stay on as long as possible. So even when he got knocked off, he was like to the producers, you know what, I can produce all the winners in the final episode. So he kind of was very flexible in that situation. He was able to get on a couple more times. So he was very clever. And I was in a show in Vegas at the time, The World's Greatest Magic at the Greek Isle. And Nathan was like, look, you should really go on this, because all these people are coming through my signature line at the end of my show saying, I saw you on that show. So there's no other TV show that you can get on where 20 million are going to see you right away. Right. So I was like, well, let me think about it. And then, he called one of his producer buddies and said, look, just get Kevin on, And so I called up and they said, all right, you're on, but, So basically, I was kind of tricked into it.
Yeah.
Nathan
It's not
tricked-
something that you sought out, that you really thought
I really didn't
you wanted to do.
seek it out. But I'll tell you, if I had a show of my own right now in Vegas, I would try to get on again.
Yeah.
Because there's just no other way to get that much promotion all at once.
Yeah. Well, I've heard some. I guess you could call them horror stories, just difficult stories. I'm used to hearing them for anybody that works in television, and I've worked in television behind the scenes about what the producers tried to get you to do.
Yeah.
On the show. Did that happen with you at all?
Absolutely. They like good television and creating stress and drama,
right.
is good TV. So they'll do things like tell you, okay, I'm used to being treated like a professional when I go work at TV. They're paying me to go fly to France or whatever and do a TV. Well, these guys, they want you to work for free, first of all. Which I'm happy to do with that kind of an audience in my own home country. But then, they'll say like, well, you've got 3 minutes for your next segment. Okay, well, it's normally 6 minutes, so I have to chop it down to 3 minutes. So now I reblock it, I re-edit the music, I practice it, and then the day before they're like, well, we have too much show, so you got a minute. Yeah, so you're like doing wholesale chops the next day, and I mean, it was very stressful. But I was lucky because the audience reacted well, and the operation kind of went viral, and I'm still getting work from that.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and since that's like I think the biggest signature piece of yours that everybody's familiar with. Do you want to talk at all about how it's done? Because the core central piece of it is. Having the right person.
Yeah, I was at Mike Caveney's house, and he was showing me some photographs of a guy who did a sawing effect in 1936 to be exact, Johnny Eck and Raja Rabwoid, and I just was very intrigued with the method. But their system I didn't really care for because it was kind of a funky platform table where they had to do a switch, and Johnny, who was the integral part, had a twin brother, Robert, who was normal. So Robert would come out of the audience like a Towns guy, an audience member, and there was a kind of two sawhorses with a board and then a kind of a four-sided box, and Robert would climb down into the box, and then they would lift the whole thing off, and there Johnny and a little person in a pair of legs, Frankie Saluda, would be there, and they'd pretend to cut him, and then they'd hop off, and pandemonium would ensue. And we're talking small towns in 1936. Everybody's really superstitious, and Johnny writes home that people in the front 3 rows were climbing over each other to get out of the way. There was so much so much excitement in the room, but they only did it for 1 season and then quit. So I thought, why not take this and run with it? So I tried to change up the system, and we went through several systems before we found the one that we like, and it's still not finished. I mean, the next thing that I want to do with it is, we cut the guy with the chainsaw, he falls over, slide him, stand him, rotate him, the hands are real, the feet are real. Then I want to lower him down to the small table and then throw a cloth over his head, chop his head off, give it to somebody, pull his arm behind his back, cut his arm off, and so now you've got this one-armed, headless torso down there.
Yeah.
So it's like, how small can we cut this guy up?
Yeah.
And then put the arm back on, put the head back on, and then put him back on with a staple gun, and everything's okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's the next step, is to make it as small as possible.
Yeah, and I know you're going to do it. Other people would listen and say there's no way that it's going to happen, or you're going to not come up with a good method. But very early on in the process of wanting to do the operation, I was called in a little bit to help you work
Absolutely.
out some of the intricacies, and then at that time, because you hadn't even found the right person to do it with, I was so impressed by how committed to the idea you were. You had a list of every person on the planet that would fit the bill, and you were in contact with all of them just to find out, and then you knew how many of them had somebody that looked similar to them, you know, if you wanted to do a switch or a double, or and then you had backup methods with regular people hidden in shells as though they were large people and stuff like that. Yeah, it was really fascinating.
Well, I still keep a big fat database of people like that, and I'm always looking for people that can help me with the trick. So you're all now part of my worldwide, global, special person search. So if you see somebody that can fit the bill, walk up to them very respectfully, say, you know, I have a friend that could possibly give you a really great job, and do you have some way we can contact you?
Yeah.
And
we have a question here. Yes?
Do you have any, the gentleman that you worked with in the AGT clip, do you have any fun stories traveling with him or with...
do you have any fun travel stories, you know, with working with people that have this particular ability?
Yeah, well, let's just say every airplane that I get on, I get pre-boarded with rockstar seating. I'll push it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're no stranger to working with people who are
unusual.
Well, I would say that they get noticed, you know, right? Yeah. Especially because very early on you were doing the chaplain routine, where you work with a little person. And tell us a little bit about Antonio and how the two of you kind of started out this whole team.
You know, we were working in a place called Crackers, and it was in Anaheim, right between Knott's and Disneyland. And it was kind of a chaotic dinner theater type of place, and it was really a great training ground because the stage was not very big, out in the middle of this dining room, and so you had people completely surrounding the stage on the floor, and then you had a balcony, everybody's completely surrounding you on the balcony, and there were stairs that went from the stage up to the balcony to the dressing rooms, and there was a five-piece band on stage, so you had to share the stage with the band. So you had to physically carry your act down the stairs, sit it there, do it, surrounded up there, surrounded down here, you know, impactfully do it. And then, I mean, you could use you could tell, okay, the piano's going to hide these people's angle, so I can steal the duck at this moment in this position. But, you know, what a great training. And plus, everybody was drunk, and it was the place to take your friends for a big party on their birthday. And so, I mean, it was, a lot of the waiters would come up and sing. So it was just one of those really rowdy nightclub kind of bar party, you know. And so what a great training ground to deal with hecklers and to make a commando act and just be like, have your feet to the fire every night. And you never knew what was going to happen, you know, because everybody was half drunk anyway. So, but he worked there as a strolling entertainer. He would just kind of walk around and mess with people all night, dressed as chaplain. And I could tell instantly how fast he connected with everybody. They just fell in love with him. And I didn't hire him because he was short. I hired him because he was a really funny, excellent character.
Yeah, right.
And and then, you know, when we worked there 2 years before I asked him to work together on something.
Did he ever mess with your act? Was that part of his thing?
No.
I don't mean in a bad way, but ever just like get involved or anything like that?
Everybody just had their own thing.
They had their own thing, right?
And but he did like comedy run-throughs.
Yeah.
And he was really a comedian.
Yeah, sure.
And it wasn't until like 2 years later I said, hey, you know, maybe we should work on something together. And so then the big goal was, you know, how do I get this interesting character on stage in a magical way?
Right.
And so then I started, you know, thinking, well, you know, the size, he doesn't look real. And the fact that his makeup is really stylized means you don't have to match flesh tones. So I thought, you know, let's just stack his body parts together, and then he comes to life. And it was a very, you know, nostalgic piece. And that was actually the second thing we worked on. The first one was a broom suspension with the piano bench. I had a broom suspension base made exactly like the piano bench that the guy used. So I switched out the benches at the beginning of the night, and the guy would play on my bass, and then yes, Antonio would come down in the middle as a janitor and start to mess with me, and then I'd have to hypnotize him.
Yeah, that was all planned.
That was all planned.
That's what I was curious, is whether that he started to mess and then you decided, oh, we might as well get you in the act, and something like that.
Well, no, this was absolutely
planned.
Came after we decided to put him in the act, because we had to like get the harness
Sure, of
and
course.
measure it all and get the costumes and and then it wasn't until after that that I found out that he used to work with Siegfried and Roy. He was the little Roy. When they used to shrink Roy down, that was Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wasn't any stranger to working with Magic Act
No,
at all.
no.
And you guys work really well together, like coming up with the ideas and bouncing ideas off. He's
Yeah, I usually come up with the ideas, and it's his job to make them funny and entertaining and
right.
bring his point of view
Yeah.
in.
If there's anybody that hasn't seen the act that we're talking about, just in case you're scratching your head, I don't know what it is. I think you can see video of it on YouTube anywhere.
Absolutely.
If you would look for it. If not, they can go to your site. I know you've got some promo of it on there. It's basically what Kevin has said, where he's got these pieces of a doll that looks like Charlie Chaplin, and right in front of you, he puts all the pieces together, and it comes to life, and then runs around and
does a perfect
impersonation of a small Charlie Chaplin. It's great. And then later on, you're still doing the broom suspension, but now you're doing it a little bit differently. You've got a rolling dolly that comes on it, and he's mopping things up and using his stuff that he does. Yeah.
We used to suck him into a vacuum cleaner.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, so you're not doing that one anymore, huh?
No, we're reworking it. I want to reimagine it.
Yeah, that's a great one. It really is.
Comes out with Don King hair.
Yeah.
You see the bulge go through the hose, and then open it up, and his hair's standing straight up like Don King.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And you're currently touring with the Illusionists, and you've shown us some of the pieces that you're doing in that. Where are you guys going next? Do you know what's the schedule like?
we're I've got some top secret information. If you
good.
want.
Yeah, let's give it. Let's spill it. Yeah, we don't normally do anything that's time sensitive, because these things are going to live on forever and ever. But for those of you that are watching it live, we're going to get a scoop, right?
Yeah, in July we go to China, and then this December we're going to. The tickets are not on sale yet, but we're going to be on Broadway.
Well, that's fantastic. I will make it out to that show for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to be at the Marquee Theater right in Times Square.
All right, we're going to keep an eye on that for when the tickets go on sale. December.
1,500 seats.
2014, by the way, for those of you that missed out on it.
And I can tell you one other little top secret thing.
Yeah.
We're in the works to do a reality TV show.
Okay.
And the concept of the show is finding the seventh illusionist.
Ooh.
So we're going to be traveling around the globe, auditioning magicians to be on Broadway with us as the seventh guy.
Like any like big name magicians you can think of that are versatile and do like close up magic with rubber bands and can also do stand up magic. That
Absolutely.
are very inventive but won't be an inventor but have a little different take on it, something like that. Is that
What a great
precisely
idea.
what you're looking for?
Yes.
Good. All right. I'll keep an eye out for somebody like that. That's great. When are you going to start up with this?
I'm not exactly sure. I was told like a week ago that this is happening, so I don't know the exact
Cool. Well,
details.
the great magic on television just keeps coming. There's so many different angles people are coming at it. It's never been. We've had heydays of magic before on television, but there's never been so much that's great. You know. It's just a wonderful time for all of us as magicians.
Yeah.
Also, let's see. You've got some interesting stories about performing at the White House. That are these borderline horror stories?
Well, I'm not sure if horror stories exactly, but this was a one of those like real highlights of my career, being able to work at the White House. I'm a big history fan. I love history, and just being in that place was awe-inspiring. And it's funny because I just finished America's Got Talent, and the operation went viral, and I get a call from the social secretary at the White House. I get an email from the social secretary first saying, we love your act, and we want you to come perform for our Halloween party. This was Obama's first term. And so I write back and I say, all right, which one of my friends is messing with me?
Yeah, right. You've got to think that. You have to, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I go, the White House doesn't watch YouTube and look for acts, But they do.
But the social secretary does.
Yeah, somebody does.
That's their job. Yeah.
And so, I go, I'll believe it when I get the tickets. So they said, okay, let's, you need to write out. So that they had me write out all the show for them. The Secret Service makes you do that so that they're not surprised with anything. So I wrote out all the show, and I'm thinking, you know what, these guys are going to make me give up my flash paper, and I want to do the floating rose. So in the story I wrote, so I make a paper ball dance, and then I twist it into a paper flower, and it magically changes to a real flower. I don't say there's going to be a big ball of fire in front of a kid.
Right.
20 feet away from the president. So I knew that they were going to absolutely tell me to not bring it. So I changed the little story. So I get there, and now it's the moment of truth, and I have to pick somebody for the rose. I need a little girl. Well, the two Obama girls are front and center going, pick me, pick me. And you don't know how bad I wanted to pick one of them. Mm-hmm. Probably the little one. Mm-hmm. And then I'm thinking in a millisecond in my head, if there's a big ball of fire in front of this kid, I'm probably going to take one in the forehead. So, not live to tell about this. So, I thought, you know what, let's just be prudent and pick someone a little lower on the food chain. And so I picked a kid in the back, and come on up, And but I had to do 2 shows, and they didn't stop me from doing it the second show.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And the other story is we're in the president's. Okay. So we're there that afternoon, pre-setting, setting up the stage and all that, and my team, we all have to go to the restroom, and you have to be escorted to go to the restroom when you're in the East Room, And they said, well, it's up up these stairs, so let's go. And I go, we got a guy in a wheelchair, we got, a little guy with arthritic knees, is there any other way? And so then the head of security goes, you know what, take these guys to that elevator and take them downstairs to the president's personal bathroom.
Wow.
So we're all in this, I've been in some really beautiful elevators in the world. And, Harrods in London, beautiful elevator. This elevator was all inlaid wood, beautiful, and there's this 90-year-old cool dude in a little bellhop outfit. He's the elevator operator, and he's standing in there, and come on in, folks, and boom, and I go, this is the most beautiful elevator I've ever been in. And he goes, well, it's the president's personal elevator, and he was in here 20 minutes ago. And he says, I'm taking you to his personal restroom. It's downstairs. So it's a nice-sized bathroom downstairs. And, we're just, in there just admiring the place. And we, they've got paper towels with the presidential seal on them. And, as you would, how often are you in the bathroom with the president of the United States?
Never. You're the guy that is.
So, I get upstairs and we do our show. Everything's great. He takes pictures with us. He's very, very nice to us. And we're loading out that night. And I've got my luggage out on the back portico. And it's kind of a windy and rainy night. But I just had to I didn't remember if I packed something. So I had to open a suitcase just to see if I didn't want to forget anything. And as I open it up, this wind goes and all these napkins with the presidential seal. and there's a bunch of security there. I mean, guys with machine guns standing there. And this military guy standing there going. And I'm like, sorry, man. And I'm like, getting the napkin and putting them back in the suitcase. So I got busted, but
Yeah.
he was nice.
But he let you
yeah,
go with it anyway. That's
he didn't
good.
prosecute.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask one magic question that I didn't get a chance to ask earlier because it didn't relate to anything else. That you used to do the linking ring to the finger ring. Jim from Houston was talking about that.
Yeah, that was a fun trick.
Yeah, and what he was asking is, will you tell anybody how you did it or not?
You know, I will. It's in an issue of Magic Magazine. I published it. But basically, it's Jeffrey Williams came up with a really great gimmick, and it was it looked like you had 3 linking rings. It was for the finale of your act. So you would do a 3-ring routine, switch them for this other. It was a big ring that you could twist 3 times, or 2 times,
sure. Right.
and then it looked like 3 rings. Throw it up, and it would be 1 big ring. Well, I bought one of those. I thought it was cool, and then I tore it apart, and basically it was chrome car door molding, and inside he put spring steel. All right, and then taped it with Mylar tape, and it was this very flexible thing. So I just ripped all the spring steel out of it, so it was just this back to car door molding. And I had a friend make a big reel for me out of a grandfather clock spring that was on my back. And there was a tube running down my sleeve, and this went to a string that this piece of car door molding about this long, I could twist it into a loop. So it's going down my sleeve, and it's twisted into a loop, and it's got tension on it. I'm holding it so it doesn't shrink. So basically, it was in my sleeve the whole time. I would do my linking ring routine, put my rings in my table, and then go in the table, and then hold it. It's kind of floppy, so you have to like look down on it and get it straight. So now I would come out with it sideways. I'd hold it up, show that it's like 1 ring, hold it sideways, and go let some of it in, resize it. Boom, it's smaller. Resize it. And now I had a small ring about a bracelet size on a piece of string pinned inside. It was an upside down pendulum deal. So it was in my coat. So now I could show the thing this way and show the thing this way. And I leaned forward, and the other ring would go into my hand, and I'd bring it up like this, and I'd let the whole thing go in my sleeve, and then squeeze it down to this small ring, which is about this big. And then I could show it this way, and then I would steal a finger ring from under my left side, all right, show it like this, and then I would put it in the same hand, and then it would swing into my jacket, and then squeeze it down to a really small finger ring, and then walk right up to the front and go, put it on, and then go, oh, wait a minute, and then I would toss it to a lady in the audience as a souvenir. But kind of a crazy ending to a linking ring routine.
Yeah. It's a great ending for anybody that wants to put that work in.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember seeing it, and I didn't even know, that there were that much was going on with it.
Yeah.
I had kind of sussed out a little bit of the method, and I think that's what everybody had, was just a little bit of the method. It's that kind of thing
But
that amazes me.
I think you could do it without the grandfather clock
A little less tension.
reel.
Yeah.
I think you just shove it in a tube up your sleeve.
Yeah.
I think you can just do it that way, in hindsight.
Yeah. And also on the notes here that you gave me, it says is Indonesia, 200 million lives. So I'm assuming that you were on Indonesian television.
Yeah, I was on Indonesian television, and I'm setting up, and the director goes, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, but it's a live TV show. So
Incidentally.
Don't try to stop the camera, because we're not going to stop, right? Like if you mess up, keep going. Don't go, okay, can you stop the camera? Let's reset and do it again, because we won't. So don't break a thread. Don't fall down the stairs. Don't mess up. So I'm like, fine, I can do that. So after the show, everything went great. They had a live audience of 1,000 people in the studio, so it was like a big, high-energy TV show. And then afterwards, as I'm packing up, I said, oh, by the way, how many people just saw this live? And he says, well, we only have 3 channels in Indonesia. We're the biggest station, and we're on prime time, so we suspect 200 million people just saw you now. Like 10 AGT, America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
200 million. And I go, I'm glad I didn't fall down the stairs. And I believe him because the next day we were flying out and everyone in the airport was like,
Right, like instant celebrity, right?
Yeah. And I told Lance Burton, and he says, man, you got to rent a theater in Indonesia like now.
Yeah, right. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, so now, kids, I'm talking to you, kids. It's time to turn off. If you're over, let's say if you're over 18, just to be safe, because I want to talk to you about one last story. Because when you called me in, I was living in Vegas at the time, and you called me in to help you with a show that you were doing in Korea. And you wanted your dancers to be topless. It was, that kind of a review.
Actually, I didn't want it.
You didn't want it. It was requested. They told you that
it had to be topless.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? No,
Yeah,
and that's right. That's actually important to the story. They told you, that's part of the show. They do a topless review show there.
Yeah, it's a casino.
Right? So the dancers must be topless.
Yeah.
So your thought was?
Okay. I completely disagreed with it, and I lost the battle with these casino bosses. I said, look, the world is changing. Look at Cirque du Soleil. They're not topless, and they pack them in. I said, why don't you get into the new century here, and let's do this the right way. And, and they were like, nope, that's what it has to be. You want the job or you don't want the job. So I said, let's make a joke about this in the opening. So I have a lot of special effects friends that are good with silicone and latex and making molds and sculpting and movie special effects people. So I had them design chest pieces for the girls to wear that had 3 breasts. So
for all of the dancers, there were how many? Do you remember how many?
Yeah, there were like
about 24 or something.
Well, there were like 10 girls.
10. Okay, so 10. Well, all right. So then 10 times 3, that's 30.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, we had some B cups and some C cups and some D cups. We had some of each.
All different, flesh colors
and they looked real.
Yeah.
They absolutely looked real.
Yeah, and so real that one day I come in to consult with you in your warehouse in Vegas, and this is the part of the story that I love. So I come in, and Kevin is kind of giddy for some reason, extra giddy. He's giggling like, you're not gonna believe. Just come into the conference room. Come into the conference room. So we go into the conference room, and there, on the table, are laid out all of the prosthetics in all of their glory.
Feel that.
And yeah, look at that. Feel that. Feel this.
Look how that bounces.
Right. A table filled with triple tatas. It was just unbelievable.
So the idea was that they would all come out with these feather fans and start the dance and whatever, and then they'd show one breast and then show the other breast and then show 3.
No, I was never able to follow up after that because you were off to Korea.
Yeah.
How did that go over?
It lasted one night.
That was it, huh? And it cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, like $20,000.
Whatever happened to? Did the girls get to keep them?
No, we kept them.
You kept them. Do you still have them?
I gave one to Nathan Burton. He really wanted one.
Yeah. So sometimes you never know. You got to try the ideas. They don't always work.
Yeah, there was another idea that in Korea, they sometimes, not now, but back in the day when I was there, it was kind of a delicacy to eat dog in Korea. Mm-hmm. I don't think they do it so much now, but so I thought it would be funny to. All right, have a table, big table with a big box on it, and I'd invite a lady to come up from the audience and climb up in this box, and I have her walk around the table out all around the box. And I'd open up a door and go in there and look. And the box was, this high. And I say, look around and check it out. Check out the side. Actually, look at the floor. Make sure it's solid. And she'd like lean down. I'd shove her in and lock close the box and lock it. Kind of a rude thing to do. So then I would walk to the side of the stage, and I had a Doberman with a big studded, badass collar. And I would walk this dog on a leash along the front of the stage. And you would have thought I had a Bengal tiger at the reaction of the front row. They're just, So I walked this dog, and we had him trained and undo his leash. And I go over to the door. There's like a little side door that opens, and so I open the side door, and he jumps in, and the box starts to convulse, and you hear on the soundtrack, like this poor girl's getting mauled. And so then I whistle again, and 4 sexy nurses come out, and they start checking me with stethoscopes. And I go, no, over there. And so they run over to the box, and they spin it around, and they drop all the doors, and it's a big fat lady chewing on a bone. So she's dressed exactly like the girl that went in. And so instead of the dog eating her, she eats the dog. So I just thought it would be funny, since we're in Korea, to do an eating a dog kind of a joke. Illusion. And that lasted the whole season, but yeah, I think mostly because they were mostly international tourists and they thought it was funny.
So it actually kind of worked, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
No, it did work.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
But now, on hindsight, I just think it was a big risk that I may have been a little naive to try it.
Maybe, but you got to try some things. And it's been a real pleasure having you here, because I haven't seen you in all these many years, and it's always a pleasure to sit down and talk with you. You're one of my favorite people in magic, because you're so willing to share, and you've created brilliant stuff that you didn't just hold back, that you've allowed all of the world to perform and do wonderful things with it. And let's just have another great big round of applause for my friend Kevin James. Kevin, thank you so much. Thanks so much for being here, and thank you for supporting Live Magic.